Man, he even did it that way. He even did he didn't
I know,
pronounce
right?
the
The
one.
one was.
It's like on Wayne's World.
How tired are you guys?
I'm not.
Really?
I'm actually doing
Like you
pretty
just,
good.
you just keep going?
I'm actually doing
What if
okay right
CES
now.
lasted one more week?
No. You'd be just a dried out husk. At that point. There'd be nothing left.
Yeah, I'm tired. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm tired too. It's been, a really busy show, which is,
Oh, somebody's playing.
that's me.
That's you.
It's been a really busy show. It feels like CES is back, honestly, to be honest.
Yeah.
So,
Kind of. Yeah.
look at this. We're in a room. If you're
We're
watching
not-
this internet.
Hey, we're not just in any room. We're in MSI's room. Obviously, MSI.
Big
There we
room.
go. Boom. They let us take over their room.
Yeah,
They let us
very nice.
clear all this stuff and come hang out up here. So thank you to MSI for hosting us.
It's about 4 o'clock right now. It was jam packed in here earlier. A lot of people are heading out to the steakhouses, trying to get back to their hotel rooms and take their shoes off right now. But we
My
still
shoes
got
are
a
off
lot
right
to talk
now.
about because CES 2023.
Just kidding, they're not.
Hey, if you're watching this pre-roll, we're going to do real-time 13th Gen Core i9 980 HX benchmark on an MSI GT77 Titan. If Intel's watching, I'm not checking my phone, so I'm not going to do it. So just going to let you know. We're going to do it real time here. We got other stuff to talk about, but we're going to talk about all the news of CES.
Lots of it. We got lots of it.
Lot.
Pete has seen like 1 billion cases.
So many cases. I almost
Yeah.
got in one earlier.
Yeah,
And not even just stuff we've seen at CES, but stuff around the periphery of CES. So we had a good interview with AMD about the 7900 XTX. So we'll talk some about
Oh yeah,
that.
and the news there.
The 4070 Ti, reviews landed during CES.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but yeah.
Yeah, that's fun. That's fun for all
Flash
the
photos.
viewers.
We got all the friends this year. We got all of the friends of the show here, and Flash photo, welcome. Is saying, is Adam having a grand old time by being very tired, overheated, over-caffeinated, honestly, and under alcohol?
Under alcohol.
I don't have enough alcohol. We don't have alcohol here. We should
Yeah.
have brought some alcohol. Cracked it open in the
We got to
MSI
work.
booth.
We got to work.
No, it actually has been fun. Like,
It is.
honestly, yeah, it's been fun. We'll talk about it in the intro. But yeah, no, I'm tired. I might just take a nap. I might just put my head down, just take a nap.
So all working? Everything stable?
Yeah. Willis, how's it going? We got Willis live behind the camera.
Yeah,
Willis is
running
my
vertical,
hero this
horizontal.
week.
Willis is a hero.
Like
Willis is a
I
hero.
couldn't. No, there's no way I could have even gotten a fraction of what I've done this week without him.
Yeah.
Like
no.
it's been wonderful to work with.
Oh, we got somebody from Iraq.
Oh, cool.
MUFC 14. Welcome. Wow, cool. In Spain, Siegfried. We got all the cool people here. All right, I need to share this in the Discord.
Yeah, I gotta tell our fans.
Yeah, I got to tell our fans real quick. Gordon, did you have lunch? I actually don't even think you had lunch, did you?
No. That's why I always eat a big breakfast.
Oh.
The secret to CES is comfortable shoes, having a big breakfast, because you will not eat another meal until 9 p.m. at night if you're
Yeah.
lucky.
Yeah, we totally didn't have tacos for lunch.
Oh, I had Popeyes. I went back
You
and
went
they
back to
actually
Popeyes?
they had sandwiches.
They had their bun.
Yeah, they had
bun.
sandwiches this time. So
Who
almost
goes to
done.
CES and gets Popeyes. You got In and Out.
I mean, well, we
Oh,
have
you
In
got
and Out.
that-
We
I don't
In-N-Out.
have those back home,
Yeah,
so,
yeah, yeah.
like,
So
I get
like,
it. I got-
mean, we have Popeyes back home too, but it's good. So what are you doing? Are you shaming here? Geez,
I'm just
Keith.
mad I didn't get Popeyes today. That's all.
Oh yeah. There's still time.
They're
There's
probably
still
out of
time.
buns. They're probably out of
Gordon
buns.
missed out on the Gordon Ramsay pub and grill that Keith and I had here.
Ooh,
The beef Wellington. Oh my goodness, so good.
nice. Gordon
Yeah.
Ramsay served you.
I had a salad.
I wish he probably
You-
yelled.
the same night you ate at Gordon Ramsay's, I had a Diet Coke and a package of pork rinds, spicy hot.
Spicy.
from CVS. That was my
I
dinner.
saw the picture.
Yeah.
Not jealous.
But I made it pretty though, because that's what you're supposed to do.
Nice.
I was
Hey,
not-
Timothy Worthley in the chat says I was able to get my 4070 Ti.
Oh, he got him.
Guess what? Hey,
We're going to talk about that.
we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. Let's hold it.
Oh.
Let's hold it.
Keith
We're
has
gonna
some
talk about it. We're gonna
opinions.
talk about
I
it.
know you have some opinions, but we're going to talk about it. We're talking about everything, because I tell you, it's been a hell of a week for the PC, right? We got
really is.
everything that showed up. AMD, Intel, Nvidia, MSI, blah, blah. Come on.
Yeah.
Give me a
Love it.
lot of stuff here. A lot of stuff here.
Love it. All right. I think we're good, right? Yeah.
Holding
we're still
steady?
live. All right. Cool. Yeah. Willis, what do you think?
Good. Go with it.
All right, I've got an ad read from the lovely folks over at Silverstone, so let me bring it up. I texted it to Gordon. Oh, there it is. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Then I'm going to toss it to you. Let's read the ad.
I'm not reading it, am I?
No, I'm reading the ad. I'm just saying, and then you do the intro.
Oh, yeah, of course.
So, you ready?
I didn't know why I got a copy of it. I was like,
I sent you a copy of it because I wanted an easy place to find it.
Good.
So we're doing this live. We're doing it live. All right, here we go. This episode of The Full Nerd is sponsored by Silverstone, the leader in small form factor power supplies for over 10 years. The Extreme 850R Platinum is the world's first commercially available SFX 12V 4.0 power supply. This spec is the SFX equivalent to the latest ATX 3.0 specification and includes the Gen 5 12-volt high-power PCIe connector and all of the great performance upgrades over previous gen power supplies. Pick up the Extreme 850R Platinum today and give your small form factor PC the power supply it deserves.
In this episode of The Full Nerd, CES 2023 live. Welcome to episode 242 of The Full Nerd. I'm your host, Gordon Mong, with co-hosts for today, Adam Patrick Murray, who's in front of the camera.
I'm the co-host?
Well,
wow,
today.
man, elevated.
Today
I've been demoted in the
promotion
past, but today I am elevated. I love it. Thank you.
And to my left, Keith May,
Hello, Internet.
drone pilot extraordinaire. And behind the camera, Willis Lai is driving the vertical and horizontal from the inside of a coupe.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hey, Will. I'll also point out this is Willis's first CES ever. He's been a champ. He's been awesome.
Absolute rock star.
Willis, are you tired?
I'm very tired. You did not tell me. Adam was building this. I was like, this is gonna be fun and all that, but you're also gonna work really late. I'm like, okay, I wonder how late. And then it's like, okay, we finish all the shoots.
It's late.
Dinner 8 o'clock, and then it's like, okay, we got to edit. We got to push all this stuff out.
Yeah,
out
dinner 8 if
the
we're
next
lucky.
day. Yeah, dinner if lucky. So
Yeah.
I've been sleepless, but also really fun getting to meet all the people. Being here at MSI booth right here, really awesome.
Speaking
really
of
fun.
which, we are at MSI's booth. Yeah. Hey, thank you to MSI for letting us park in here and do the Full Nerd from live. We love doing these live episodes, so thank you, MSI. You're awesome. We have some MSI goodies we'll talk about.
Yeah,
but
there's some really exciting stuff.
yeah,
there.
but we've got a lot of news to cover, Gordon, right?
Yeah, should we kick us off where it started?
Let's kick us
Go
off where it
sequentially,
started.
Because, the CES week basically sort of started when Intel showed off its new 13th generation laptop CPUs. In fact, a couple of these have them. The big news, honestly, in the entire Intel new 13th gen product lineup that people are super excited for is the Core i9-13980HX. That's basically 24 cores in a laptop. That's 8 performance cores plus 16 efficiency cores. And the cool thing is, since we're in MSI's booth, they're actually going to let us run it on the GT77. So right here is the brand new updated the cord is too short. MSI GT77, but it is running in front of me. I'm going to run a Cinebench. I'm going to swivel a little bit. So it's real. Keith is my witness here.
I'm watching
Internet.
it.
So we are going to run a real run. Oh, so we're going to try to get a little more cable. There we go.
Oh,
so
look
you
at
can
that.
see there's a previous score on here, but I don't want you to see that because I already have an idea how fast this is. I want you to know that, you know what, you're going, 13980HX, how fast is that going to be, Gordon?
Gordon, how fast is it?
Yeah.
So I'm going to start running this. We're going to talk about
Wait,
it
if
later.
you can't show the screen, how are we going to know you're doing it? How do we
Well,
know
there's
it's
already
real?
a score on there.
I know, but how do we know it's real?
Because you're my witness. See,
Okay,
when
so
I press
do you
it,
think the internet really trusts Keith and
this
I?
is not a screenshot. If this is
Okay,
a screenshot.
it's not a screenshot.
It,
Actually, but you can show the run now because now there's
oh,
no
you're
score.
right. Now it's gone.
Yeah. So
turn it
now
around.
now
The
show.
previous scores are on there. I'm going to
No,
cover
but you
that
can't
up.
see that
okay,
small.
you see
can't
it running.
See that small.
You can see it running, Internet. So we are running the MSI GT77 Titan real-time Cinebench R23 multi-core. You will find out what the score is in a few minutes. But Intel, of course, is kicked off this whole party with the 24-core Raptor Lake mobile CPU in laptops like the GT77.
That's a lot of cores.
That's
That
a
is
lot
a
of
Do you
lot of
remember?
cores.
Do you remember on the desktop when we were happy to have 8?
Yeah, I remember we were having it at 4, but so in an H-class laptop, so 1, yeah.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm young.
That's a lot of numbers. Too.
That's a lot
we'll
of
get
numbers.
to those. We'll get to those.
So we're running it now. So basically, that was Intel's big egg drop. Was like they had other stuff, 65-watt desktop parts. A lot of
Yeah. So non-K parts.
non-K parts. There's H, there's P,
Oh,
there's U.
did
as
we
well.
find out? Are they Alder Lake based? Did we find out? Because I know
for
there was
mobile?
questions. No. For the desktop 65-watt
I'm
parts.
trying to remember because I was told this 2 weeks ago, and I can't remember now. I think some of the 65-watt parts might be Alder Lake.
Okay.
But I honestly, my brain is fried because after about 3 days of CES, you can't remember. I don't even know my last name at this point. So that's about how far you're going to get.
All right. I want to look into it. I'm curious.
So the interesting thing is, of course, Intel drops the 13th gen news for laptops, and then a few hours later, Nvidia drops its news.
Yeah.
Well,
New
do we
GPUs.
want to go over the score
Yeah,
right
yeah,
now
let's
before
get-
we
let's
move
get
to
the score.
Nvidia?
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want me to read it to them since I have to
All
verify
right, you
this?
can verify.
Okay.
Okay.
Keith is going to verify this live.
So the score is 32,930.
Ooh, that's a big number. And on this bar here, I just for context, the Threadripper 2990WX, I believe. Let me
Yeah.
double check. Yes, the WX, the 34 core Threadripper,
32.
got 30,000 points. This thing got 32,000 points.
32,009.
That means this thing's faster than a Threadripper.
And I do also want to point out that for a Core i9 12900K, which is a desktop part, I recorded a score when I originally reviewed it of about 27,275.
The desktop part.
The desktop part, not laptop. The HX part is actually pretty fast. It's about 22,000
That's
for
why.
the 12th gen HX part. This is basically pushing low 30s here. So obviously this is a pre-production sample. Not everything is final, but you just want to get a feel for, can you really push this
pretty
chip
impressive.
that hard in a laptop? Well, I will tell you the GT77 can do it because we just got that 32930 out of here.
Yeah,
so,
I
right?
mean, we've talked about this a lot, but the idea of a workstation laptop has always been like, you know what, like it's not a desktop, like even though there's desktop replacements, it's not a desktop because, you're gonna get so much power and so many cores. I mean, like,
Right.
this is a lot of power.
It's changing my plans. Not
Right?
like it makes me consider other things than just another desktop upgrade.
Yeah, I mean, the idea of having something like this, whether you take it on the road, whether you use it on your desktop, or even whether you just like put it off to the side and plug it into a monitor, like, I guess that's beefy.
Yeah, and you're outperforming desktop performance from previous generation and obviously previous generation
Super
parts
cool.
pretty easily in a laptop, which is kind of nuts. But honestly, I would say NVIDIA's GeForce RTX 40 series news was it more exciting?
So you want to move on to Nvidia?
Nvidia.
Oh, yes, great. Nvidia.
Well, we can talk about them both.
No, so
they
there
can-
was desktop and laptop news. Do we want to talk about laptop news first then?
Yeah, let's talk about
Okay,
laptop
laptop,
news
let's
because
do it.
honestly, that is probably one of the coolest stories for 40 series. Obviously, it's clearly the reception of 40 series by the community has not been fun. People are angry about it all the time. But on the mobile side, honestly, I'm more jazzed than the original desktop launch in some ways because the power envelope that we're seeing 40 series in laptops is kind of nuts.
Oh,
right?
for sure.
Because I mean, there's like, and also you got the full stack. You got, 4090, 4080, 4070, 4060, 4050.
Yeah, and the 4050.
So you got them all in laptops, but
Well, but and just for context, because I know we have a lot of desktop, viewers, people who don't follow laptops as much. The idea of them, why would they drop something like the 40 or 50 and the 4060 before they even hint at the desktop parts?
it's a good question. It may be just simply because that's how the product cycles lined up for notebooks. It could also be, when you have a laptop that is a fixed package, it's easier to manage.
Well, and these guys don't want to make a laptop for one and then have to come out with another one
Right.
and another one and another one down the road.
Right.
So you
And,
kinda
so,
wanna be
and the
there.
desktop cards, they can manage that
Yeah.
release cycle. Where the laptop, you got to work with not only the laptop manufacturers, but the release cycle of the CPU and all the other parts. You know, Gen 5 SSDs coming, you know, stuff
Right.
like that. So
And the other thing is, desktop GPUs, a lot of turbulence there. There's still probably a lot of 30 series parts out there, especially the lower end ones that are still, and really they have to sort of deal with that turbulence before they can really get aggressive at the lower part of the lineup, right?
Yeah.
So that could be a part of it because a lot of those cards were bought for mining, and they ended up just being sold. So that's, you know, very few people did mining on laptops. Some did, but obviously that was the exception.
Seemed to
So-
be almost a joke when they did it.
yeah, and
Like-
it was kind of crazy because you have.
I mean,
the whole
no, but
plastic
at the
laptop.
height, I remember at the height
Yeah.
of the mining craze,
Had
it was
them
like, wait,
stacked
we
up.
talked about it on news on the show, like yeah, you're just seeing these stacks of like laptops, like, whoa, that never made sense. And
With like
then
a bunch of
at-
TPs lined up.
Yeah, at the height of the craze, we're like, okay, now this is crazy. You can't get desktop
Yeah.
GPUs; they're actually using laptops.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So
yeah.
it's nice that you're getting that full lineup, and also the thing that really surprised me, we're going to stay on the mobile side,
Yep.
is that the 40 series is really fitting into laptops that are thinner and lighter than I expected before.
Very
Because-
much so. The ones they showed off that we've seen so far are incredibly thin.
Well, but
Oh, you know, actually, I have a good example for you, Keith.
Oh, do you?
yeah, what example?
So, you know, typical. Here is the new MSI Stealth 14, which you happen to have because we're in the MSI booth. But look at this. This is a 14-inch laptop, 1600p panel screen,
It's-
13 Gen H-class CPU.
Wait. For audio listeners, you have to describe how it looks too.
So it's beautiful because it's white and black. It looks, but the thing is, of course, it's got the Stealth logo in back lit up, which the people on the stream can watch.
Hopefully.
But it is very light, very thin. I would say probably about a little over 3 pounds, 3.2 pounds. But inside here, that's a 4 plus 8. God, I can't. 14 core, basically H-class, 13 Gen CPU, up to an RTX 4070. You know, typically in a laptop this thin and light, it was like GTX 1650 Max
Yeah.
Q, right? That's what you're happy to get.
Yeah.
And you're getting up to a 4070 in a thin laptop. And to me, this is like, you know, Nvidia actually talked about this during its keynote because they were like, we're putting this into laptops you never could put it in before.
Well, but the question is it nerfed? Like that's the idea. Is like I don't know. I've seen it a lot. Like they're putting a 4090 into a laptop, but it's not as powerful as the actual 4090.
Well, yeah, I mean, actually, technically, the 4090 mobile part is the equivalent die of a 4080.
4080,
right?
the
Same
core.
CUDA cores.
But
Memory
it
structure's
isn't usually that way that the mobile parts. Like
Yeah.
it's got the same number, but it's always a
Yeah,
you know.
there was a couple of generations where
Right.
that it was actually a desktop into it, but we've gone away from that again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's still there's a variance in there. So
They did try that. Remember, that was like right around the 9 series. They were like, we're going
the
to
9
get
and
to the
10
point where it's
series,
the same. And
but
it
then
kind of ended. Well, I mean, but I mean, honestly, when you're looking at a 4090 desktop card that is will
Wild,
not fit
crazy.
in mini ITX cases,
Yes.
this
I don't think you could.
Look,
although this is
this is a 4090.
4090, it was liquid cooled though.
Yeah,
but that
it's
was
2 slots. Anyway,
But you're not going to be able to get that kind of performance in a laptop. I just don't think it's realistic. I don't think people should expect it, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah. Well,
No, I mean, I get it, I
Anyway,
get
a
it.
4070, the idea of a 4070 in this form factor is awesome. Have you seen performance? Do we know anything about performance?
No performance on GeForce that anybody can talk about yet. It's in front of me, but believe me, someone would pull the internet if we started running performance numbers on the GeForce here.
Yeah.
Well, we're respecting that.
Actually, we did see some performance at the NVIDIA booth. We saw some creator stuff.
Oh, we
Because,
did.
I mean, hey, obviously, video guy, you
Yeah,
know,
but even
I'm
then,
tuned into it.
I'll-
I know, but still, like the idea of the power of a 4070 in a laptop for creative use, like getting those dual encoders and things like that, like that's pretty awesome. I mean, gaming's one thing, but having that power for creativity, I'm excited.
Well, and actually, you're right because they did. You know, the way NVIDIA's constructed it, it was cleverly made to tease you because
Oh,
they
yeah.
had a
I mean, of course,
3080
of course.
Ti
30
17-inch laptop,
Yeah.
and then they had a 16-inch 4080 laptop, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
what
so,
they
so
did
the
is-
4080 was a smaller
16-inch
smaller laptop.
because you had a big 17.3-inch laptop on the left, That was a full-on 3080 Ti running at 150
It was wide
watts.
open.
So
Top-
normal
top
150
tier.
watt TGP. And then they had the 16-inch, but they power limited it to 50 watts.
And but what were they doing on it? Keith, describe what the
They were playing Cyberpunk.
yeah. And
Which
what,
was faster, Keith?
The 40. The 4080.
The 4080
yeah,
at 50 watts.
Yeah, at 50 watts. It was a fair chunk.
but
Right.
it was doing DLSS 3.
There was
right?
that, but it was still doing it.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, it was.
How much of an issue do you think that is, though, Keith? Because you're comparing DLSS 3 stuff versus non. Is
So-
that fair? Internet's going to say, oh.
You know, hold on. Here's the thing. I kind of feel like both numbers would be good to see, like a representation
Right.
with and without. I finally got to sit down and use DLSS 3. It's interesting. I had one case. I didn't really get to go around and play it on a whole lot of different things. But the one that I played it was, I can see why they say you really need to experience it to have an opinion on it. Like, I get a lot of the comments around it and a lot of the topics. And you know what? I get the people that don't like it, and I get the people that do like it. I see a good use for it.
Okay.
I don't hate it. But I don't know how much I'm gung-ho for it, but it does make it smoother.
Yeah, I used it today for the first, or not today. I used it, well, it was 2 days ago or whatever.
It's all the day.
Yeah, I'm
It's all
sorry.
the day.
Yeah, for the first time ever, and yeah, I actually don't know how to put into words how it was to use DLSS 3. But back to your point, though, Gordon, I don't know. Like, I mean, of course, Nvidia is going to show numbers like that, and okay, that is cool and that is impressive. But I would like to see, like for like. You know,
Yeah, no,
obviously, but
I
still,
know.
but
Same
still,
here.
yeah.
They're, but the thing is, they want to show it in its best light, right?
Of course,
and
of course.
And they're
I mean-
going to dig in, and I don't think they're going to come out and say, we're not going to.
Well, that's why
run
you
it."
say.
So-
What do we always say, Keith?
Wait for reviews.
Wait for reviews.
Always wait for
Wait
reviews.
for reviews. So. What?
Okay, I don't.
What? You always say that.
I say that, but sometimes I.
Wait. You're saying don't wait for reviews. Just go buy a laptop right now.
Wait for
What I'm
reviews.
If
saying-
it's MSI, go buy it right now.
Sit-
What I'm saying is, you sort of you tell people never do this zero. This is like an absolute rule.
Who said never?
If everybody said don't go buy a 4090, a lot of people said don't buy a 4092. You read reviews. That's fine.
If you don't feel confident about it, that's why you wait.
Well, but no.
Yeah.
So the thing is, if you didn't buy the 4090 because people said never buy, wait for reviews, never pre-order, always wait for reviews, and then now you have not been able to get a 4090 for 3 months, 2 months, you can't then start complaining about it.
Oh no, well,
Well,
that,
you
but
can't start complaining, but also
you'll know what you're getting when you get it.
Yeah,
you
you'll
know
know
what you're getting
That's
when
fine.
you get it.
Anyway.
I just want to point that out because there are times when, maybe you roll the dice and it's going to be better.
I rolled
and
the
I
dice.
imagine that honestly, I think early on I was saying I think you could comfortably say 4090 is going to be better than 3090, and it might be worth buying it because
Well,
it's just you're going to get something better.
hopefully there's going to be a lot of good laptop options out there. We're talking about laptops, so there's going to be good laptop options.
Yeah.
and usually laptops don't sell out immediately. So,
Yeah, no, it's a different-
So I would say yes on the laptop stuff. It's okay to wait for reviews. Gordon.
No, it's fine to wait, and honestly, because the thing is, every laptop is different. They're big and heavy, thick and fast, all those kind of things.
Thin and light.
So you really don't know what each laptop is how it's gonna do until you see reviews. So I do recommend that you do, and it is also a big purchase.
Yeah,
because
it is a big purchase.
these are expensive laptops. You're
Yeah.
getting a lot of fast hardware, which comes with a big price tag.
Very cool. Anyway, we do have a question that is mobile and desktop related
Okay.
from crap.
You lost it.
Somebody was asking about the DLSS video thing.
Oh, DLSS
Super,
video
yes.
super resolution.
Yeah, oh
Oh,
man.
you saw it in action?
Yeah, we've got a piece. I don't know if it's
Oh.
up.
Oh, here we
yet,
go.
Or
Spike Blighty, have you seen the video streaming upscaling tech from Nvidia yet?
yes, so that's impressive.
Tell us about it. What
So
is
it?
okay, so here's
Like
the,
impressive, cool, but
yeah,
or that
no,
it's
it's actually really useful because we're going to go some theoreticals here. We're going to put a scenario. You're on a 1440p monitor. You're watching Twitch, and your favorite streamer is putting out 720p.
Okay.
You're full screening it. Now what happens? You got compression. It's 720p stretched out across 1440p.
Okay.
Well, NVIDIA's video, the RTX Video Super Resolution, I don't like the name, but so it's going to take it and it's going to do an AI pass, because we love AI, everything, to put them cores to use. And it's going to do a bit of I don't want to call it reconstruction, but it's going to do an edge sharpening. So high contrast areas are going to get sharpened. Those areas where it's kind of darker or brighter, what happens in video compression? In the shadows or around the sun?
It gets blocked up.
It gets really
blocky,
blocked
real
up.
blocky.
So what it does is it takes those and in a single pass, so the delay is almost negligible, almost immeasurable, and it cleans that up so that it's not this blocky mess. It may look a little bit muddy, right? A little bit muddy, but it's not going to be these big chunks. And text is going to be sharper. And let's say your favorite streamer is getting a headshot on somebody, and the crosshair and the name tag, you can see that a lot better. And so it does make video looking better for you watching it.
So this is more of a, but this isn't generating frames. This isn't like
No,
This
it's not
is-
doing anything
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
No,
okay.
it's literally.
That was my worry.
Yeah, it's literally.
Well, I mean, maybe that'll
essentially
come later, but
in one frame, it's doing this work. Now, what's cool is right now it's in beta, but it's part of the Chromium substructure. It's going to be in Chrome natively. You're not going to have to get an extension or anything. It's going to be there. It's possible it can be used in Edge. Brave maybe. They haven't heard back from those guys. But driver stack update in GeForce is going to enable it, and the end user.
So this is proprietary. Can only work on GeForce cards, and only GeForce cards with RTX.
RTX 30 and 40 series. They haven't validated 20 series yet. They're looking to.
Interesting.
Yeah, they didn't give a
Okay.
timeline on 20. So you can tell they're using, that dark silicon that people complain about that's not getting used.
Yeah.
They're putting it to use somewhere, and it's
okay.
actually really cool.
That's
And
cool.
So you saw it
It's
actually running
visual.
and you could-
It's visual.
it
Like
was
you
better.
can notice it.
Okay.
Willis got to see it. He helped. He got some really good footage of it. I had a little toggle where I could turn it on and off, and he didn't have to ask, "Is it on or off?" You could tell. So.
Okay, I'm as a video person, I'm skeptical. I did not take the demo, so we will see. Will's got a question.
I was
What's up?
telling Keith about it. Like we need that tech would be good for the stream for our full nerd too. Scaling ourselves to 4K.
Yeah.
But
Right.
there's a limit. It's a 4x
limit,
limit. Yeah, it's a 4x limit. So if you got a 1440p, it'll do 720 up to 1440p. You can do 1080 up to 4K.
Okay.
It says that once you go past
That's
there,
fine.
it starts
Yeah,
eating
yeah.
up memory. It starts to become a problem. So
Okay.
there's a limit.
Yeah, it should be interesting. Yeah, performance. Like what kind of overhead? How does it work on a laptop? Is it going to chew through battery if you're doing it on a laptop?
Yeah, no, you can turn it off too. They said,
Yeah.
but it's a setting in Chrome, so it'll be on
In
by
Chrome.
default. Yeah,
It'll
it's
be
in
on-
Chrome.
Oh, see, I thought you were saying you bring up like GeForce Experience and say
No,
hey,
it's in Chrome.
Or
It's
GeForce
part
overlay.
of. It'll be part of the browser. It's not.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
Wow.
That's
on
how
by
much.
default.
Yes, that's how much they liked it.
Crazy.
I'm actually kind of glad that it's getting support on a previous generation card. I do hope they backdate it even further, so, like where it's capable.
I don't know if you bought the 1080 Ti back in the day, you're probably left out in the cold.
I don't know. I don't know if I bought 1080
you-
Ti back then.
mean-
Are
you
you
mean-
saying I would have gotten
you mean
more if
the
I
Hall of
made an
Fame
investment in
1080
future
Ti?
technology?
I don't know.
Hey, it's still doing great. It's still doing great. All right.
Not
anything,
on that new feature.
anything else for laptop NVIDIA stuff, or should we go to desktop?
I think, gosh, I mean, again, there is, no, I don't think so. I mean, I think they really, a lot of good stuff on laptops. We'll have to wait again. You want to see
I mean,
what
in
the
general,
performance
yeah.
is when we get it, so we'll see.
Well, and there's AMD stuff, laptop stuff to talk
There
about
is.
too. Yeah,
And there is
so,
AMD laptops.
But let's go. They announced it was kind of already leaked and heavily rumored, but they announced it one desktop.
One desktop
Oh.
part, the
GPU.
RTX 4070 Ti. It was announced and released this week.
Yeah.
So the 4th was just the day we got here. They announced it. I was on a plane. I missed the announcement. Landed. Everybody talking about it. The next day reviews went live. It seemed to not go over very well
Well,
with
NVIDIA
reviewers.
threw the GPU to everybody, and apparently all reviewers threw it back over the wall, I think is what it sounds like.
Including our own
Yes.
Brad Charkis. He
Yeah.
has a review up on PCWorld.com. Go read it. He was not much of a fan of it either. I think that's a good summation.
Yeah, that seems to be kind of a common,
yeah.
common
The internet has not liked the 4070 Ti.
Right.
But remind me, is this the unlaunched 4080? Do we know?
I don't think anybody's come out and said yay on that.
Okay.
I don't think you're going to get anybody to just say, oh yeah.
Well, but it looks exactly the same.
You know, it's different coat of paint, different.
Right.
You know, but it is
And
cheaper.
cheaper.
It is cheaper than what they announced that one for.
$800 technically.
Well, that's why I was
$799.
wondering if it really is that unlaunched part.
$800.
$799, $99. Yeah, $800-ish part.
Okay.
Which actually we did look at Newegg a day of launch because we were like, okay, so how many were actually out there
Yeah.
at $799? And we saw one, right?
Yeah, there was one.
And then there was one at $850.
There was
and
$830.
Yeah, a lot of them
$830,
were
$840.
like around $9.
Yeah, most of them were at that old price point. They were
Yeah.
also the premium models. I'm not
Yeah.
trying. Don't sound like I'm making excuses, but it just is what it is. At that $100 price difference from starting to like the premium ones, it is what it is at that price range.
And there's no Founders Edition.
No, there's no Founders
No
Edition.
Founders
So I've seen a lot of comments about, oh, Nvidia's releasing their Founders Edition for that price to compete with these other ones, but they didn't. There was no Founders Edition.
No Founders Edition.
So they're not.
So actually, we did have somebody earlier in the chat during the pre-show that said they were able to pick one up. So give me a show of hands. How many people at this table bought a 4070 Ti?
Not me. What do I need for? I got 1080 Ti.
For audio listeners, both Keith and I raised our hands. We're a little bit of a different edge case because we kind of, we want to check it out for work purposes.
Yeah.
But I
yeah.
do think it was funny. We were both looking. It was like, oh man, is it sold out? It's not sold out.
No, it wasn't
we were
sold
able to
out.
go pick one up. I picked up one, but you picked up what model brand did you get?
I got the MSI Ventus, and it
You know
was
that, MSI?
it was 830.
Oh, it might be over there.
830, 840. It wasn't
Okay.
a
Do we have
very
a 4070
expensive.
Ti?
Yeah, it wasn't extremely. It wasn't astronomical. And like I told you, I wanted one that was running reference specs, so
Okay.
NVIDIA spec.
Well, let me ask you though, Keith, because your opinion seems kind of controversial. Because I know Brad wasn't a fan, just about universally.
Thank you. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Yeah.
Wow.
Speaking of which,
Look, Cliff from MSI just handed us
Yes.
4070 Ti cards.
Is this the one that you bought?
No, these are.
I think we just
These
go.
are
yeah, I got
the-
the smaller one.
go.
These
No.
are the
nice.
these are the
These are nice.
Baller
Nice.
models.
Yeah. I'm going to set this here. So, Gordon, you were saying?
I think that though, Keith, even you actually thought you didn't seem angry like everybody.
I watched several reviews while I was getting ready and stuff and getting things together, and I looked over the numbers, and I get where people are coming from. Like, I'm not going to stand here and say you shouldn't have the same opinion that I do, but I also look at it and I say it kind of landed. Maybe it's just my expectations. It landed where my expectations were, so I
Okay.
wasn't rocked by it. I was impressed by the power draw. The performance and power was there, and that's what I saw a lot of. I
Right.
saw the AV1 encoding. The dual encoders were coming down into a more reasonable price. I'm a 1440p kind of gamer. I
Okay.
game 3440 by 1440, and at that resolution, even the people that hated it said that it was actually really, really good at that resolution. It was 4K where things kind of took the hit and seemed to be a problem. So
Not angry.
I'm
Not
not
as
angry,
Not
but
very
here's
angry.
Hey,
the
Not
you know what?
glowing.
There's an outrage pony sitting right over there. We can go get it for you. You can ride
Well,
on it.
here's the thing. Like, I'm also not excited about it either.
Yeah.
So I don't want anybody, I'm almost indifferent. It's,
I'm going to bring up a conversation that came up last night at a party, and I want to attribute it correctly, and I hope I do. It was Shannon from Patriot Memory.
Okay.
It's got some awesome stuff that's going to be showing off, but I believe, and I'm sorry, I had a lot of beer last night, but it might have been, the feeling is like, well, maybe it was somebody else who was talking about this. I'm sorry if I got the attribution wrong, but the concept was like, maybe people are too wedded to the model numbers. I always bought a 4070. I'm a 4070. I've had like a 1070, 2070, 3070. But maybe the thing is, it should be like, it really should be the resolution and the refresh rate you play at. I'm a 1440p, 165 hertz gamer. I mean, maybe that's what you sort of you go around, because honestly, these cards are well above 1440p, 165, it sounds like. So
yeah.
maybe the whole hang up on the model numbers doesn't make as much sense if you sort of thought about.
Yeah.
I always play games at. If I'm a 1080p
Yeah.
gamer, in
Well,
other words,
okay.
if a 4050
So you're saying-
does everything I do,
Yeah.
then-
So you're saying, what if in a theoretical world, for the 40 series, they were like, hey, you know what? We're throwing numbers out the window. You know, kind of like when they had switched over from the, you know, like they're like, hey, you know what? We're going to do naming
The 280
scheme.
to
Yeah. So when we have this
that-
this new naming scheme, we're going to call it GeForce X2.
Okay.
This is
Yeah,
the
yeah.
GeForce X2 card. We're going to launch it at $799. You know, like, so you're saying if you stripped it from the name itself of any legacy
Yeah,
naming, you think at
it's-
$899 that performance you're getting is worth it?
I think at $899 for 4070 Ti, and I haven't honestly read in the
It's the
reviews.
same price for the 7900 XT. Like that's where the big
But
problem.
it's a solid. Is it a 4K capable card?
They're both kind of.
So they're both
like,
sort of 4K-ish.
Well, 4K 60, yeah.
Yeah.
so
sure.
I mean, honestly, most people are 4K. But if you're basically getting 4K
Most
60,
people it's 1080p.
a 4K, but the thing is, like, under this idea floated, and again, gosh, I hope I gave the correct attribution to the person, but it's like, look, if you paid $900 to get 4K 60 gaming, what would you have paid to get 4K 60 gaming 2 generations
Yeah.
ago? Maybe that's the way to think about it rather than the fixed
I
model.
remember, I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly, the 2080 Ti was when Brad was
Was a
like,
4K, yeah.
was like, oh wow, this is kind of the first time where I feel
Yeah.
comfortable saying that this can play 4K.
I felt the same way when it launched.
Okay. And how much was that?
It was $1,200.
$1,200,
Now,
right?
now here's the thing. That person that had that card, this is a good jump in performance. You know,
Yeah.
if you had a 3080 or better last generation, I probably, if I wanted an upgrade this time, I could see that being a point of contention and being kind
So
of.
what if this, in a different world, what if this was a 4080 Ti? It was kind of like a replacement of the 2080 Ti.
So if they just named it a 4080 Ti.
Yeah. I mean, and you know, like rejiggered the naming, you know, for the other stuff too. But you know, it's like this came out as a 4080 Ti. Do you think Gordon thinks less people would be less angry?
No, I no. What I'm saying is that maybe we need to rethink how it's done, and it's not even my thought. It's either
So
it's either
So-
somebody from Patriot,
Yeah,
Fractal Design, or Brave.
Somebody
Brave
gave you the
Thorn.
beer. Somebody gave you the
Somebody
beer.
gave me the beer last night.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, that makes a lot of sense.
So if let
I'm
me see
sorry.
if I understand you right. So what you're saying is, and we're just going to use a hypothetical, I don't know, 70 series, right?
Right.
You know, so a 7060 would be premium 1080p. A 7070 would be a 1440p card, and past that is your 4K and up. Like that's like, you know, but they kept it at that. So each generation is like, hey, I mean, you know, we've seen other vendors where like tiers of cards targeted resolutions and continue that. So
Right.
like that way, if you're a buyer, I'm a 1440p buyer, I don't need to look at that 60. I know the 80's more than I need. The 70's going to be my.
Yeah, and I just that you basically tie the card to your gaming resolution and games.
Okay, I just want to make sure I understood.
Rather
you
than
right.
being wedded to the model number, because the 70 series always got me this, it always got me that. Well, now you're getting this from a 70 series, which is kind of nuts, but you
Yeah.
know.
Well, it's hard because I mean the idea is that you know
Then if the price-
in the past the
Right.
prices remain the same, and then you get an X bump in performance, right?
Yeah.
But now we're getting an X bump in performance as well as prices increase,
Right.
And so it's kind of hard to judge past over past.
I've heard like Steve from Gamers Nexus call it almost stagnation. Like the performance is there, but you're not getting the price benefit.
Well,
of-
no, I mean definitely prices of everything.
Yeah.
Performance is going up, but price is going up as equally.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you know, and
People
another
are not
thing,
happy with that.
another thing I do want to say, like I know there's a lot. The card I picked up was because it was a smaller one, thinner one, ran the referencing, but
Oh, I think isn't it this one? Because this one's different. Because that's the Supreme. This is the. I think it's this one.
I think this is the game.
Oh, it actually is this one, huh? This is the one you bought?
I don't remember. No,
Maybe.
this one's the game.
They have different versions.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
mine was the Ventus. It has the. It's
Oh,
very
okay.
very simple.
Okay.
But these are the ownership, the experience of running. It's low wattage, big cooler, quiet fans. Everybody mentioned how cool and quiet the thing ran. So there is a bit of ownership
Yeah.
experience.
No,
with
that's-
it too.
that's-
Well,
a plus.
and I haven't had a chance to look really much at YouTube. I haven't had a chance to post videos we have already done.
I watched them while riding with Willis.
Yeah, well, no. So does EPOS Box have a content?
I have
creation?
not seen.
Okay, so
have not seen.
yeah. So because I want to see how content creation performs on it. You know, like, I mean, that's the other thing too, right? Is like content creation. I mean, sure, it's a niche, sure, it's a very small market of the
But
people
we
who are
use it.
buying. But we, yeah, like all three of us, you know what I mean, like are really tied to this. So I'm curious about content creation because it's like, you know, I mean, and I know that was an unpopular opinion, but even the 4080 E plus Vox was like, dang, what you're getting with a 4080 for content creation is amazing.
You're going to make more. You if you're using it for
Dual
work,
encoders
you're
and
gonna
work
make
and
more
so
money,
that.
right?
So yeah, Anyway, I'm curious to see that performance. Maybe it's out there, but I just haven't had a chance to look. So anyway, 4070 Ti, it's here. Go read reviews. It sounds like they're still on store shelves. I don't know if we have
A lot of them did sell out. I looked later on. A lot of them did sell out.
Okay, I just don't know if our friend Tiago had gone to his Micro Center, his man on the street coverage of how many were there, because he likes to
really?
I
talk
saw
about
some
launches.
pictures and it was
Well-
not exciting.
Oh, okay.
Getting the cards is a lot of the frustration. Like 4090s have been
Yeah.
really hard to get. But you know what, Adam?
What, Gordon?
If you can't go out and buy a 4090,
Yes.
you know how you can get one?
Steal it?
In a new gaming
I
system?
almost got away.
Oh,
If
in a
you
new
do a
gaming
pre-built.
system.
If you
Oh,
did a pre-built
yes.
system.
Wait,
Ah.
who offers pre-builds with 4090s in it?
You know, it turns out, by the way, that MSI actually offers pre-built systems with 13th gen Intel
You mean
and
something
40
like
series.
something like over there?
Something like from over there.
Can't really see it, but
You can't see it, but MSI actually sells pre-builts, and honestly, we're going to be back. It feels like maybe if you're angry you can't get a 4090, you do a pre-built almost again. Almost like how it was during the pandemic when
Hopefully
you
not that bad,
couldn't
but-
buy a card, right?
yeah.
Just
Yeah, no, yes, thank you. But is there anything else Nvidia news we want to touch on? Obviously, their keynote talked about AI and
Yeah, there's a
driving
lot.
cars, and it's CES. All these keynotes are going to, kind of cater to a wider tech crowd,
Right.
Not just us hardcore PC gamers.
They did-
Nvidia, but I mean, Nvidia kind of always talks about tech and driving, driverless cars and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So, anything else from presentation? That's
the
worth
GeForce,
covering?
GeForce Now stuff was impressive, but
Oh,
there- I mean,
GeForce Now,
honestly,
yeah.
it was cool.
Remix.
We're going to do it later, but so here's the thing: is I thought for a company that basically, they didn't show up here at CES practically to do any on stage kind of stuff. I thought they did, I mean, they really kind of stole some of the thunder early on. You think?
Who?
Nvidia.
Nvidia. They launched a card and reviews were the next day. It's not
Right.
very often where a product launches during CES. Usually it's announced at CES.
Yeah.
So.
Remix.
Right. No, I mean, maybe
RTX
that's
Remix.
part of the intention because honestly, the next big topic is AMD because AMD did a big launch here. They had everything here.
Had everything.
Desktops,
Yeah. Before,
CPUs, laptop CPUs.
Spaceships.
before we get into the details of AMD, though, what is one of the best power supplies that you would recommend running these newer generation products?
I think if I were building because people know I love small form factor PCs, and if I were building a small form factor
Enthusiast.
PC, I would need a
We did it.
I would need
We
a
did it.
pretty powerful power supply, and I think I would want a 12 volt high power connector on it.
Yeah, well,
Who would
So
make
like
it?
an SFX power.
so like an ATX 3.0 equivalent power supply
They have
for small
those?
form factor. Yeah,
Already?
it's
Who makes it?
It's ATX 12V 4.0 is the spec.
Huh.
Yeah, it's equivalent to ATX 3.0. And guess what? The first commercially available one is from Silverstone, the sponsor of this episode. I know I'm joking around here. I did a little pre-roll video that you'll see on some of our videos because they sponsored some videos as well as this episode. So over the break, they sent me one to get footage of, and I didn't get a chance to put it in the system and fire it up or anything like that. But I have a Silverstone, an older model in my small form factor rig right now. It's great, and then the idea of switching to 12 volt high power, especially for small form factor, as long as it's plugged in and I'm not tweaking any cables. The idea is great. You're saving a lot of cable runs in a
Right.
small form factor. So this new spec, which is ATX 3.0 equivalent. It's
and
interesting.
750 watts. That's
850.
Oh,
This is the
850.
Extreme 850R Platinum
Holy smokes.
and Cybernetics Platinum certified. Cybernetics.
Not Cyberdyne.
Not Cyberdyne.
Cyberdyne.
Okay.
Not
Hey,
Cyberdyne,
by the way,
Cybernetics.
did you hear that the The guy who played the psychiatrist in Terminator 2 passed away today.
Oh, really?
Oh, I
Yeah.
thought you were going to give me something
I know, I'm sorry.
exciting.
That's like bummer.
Oh, ooh, sorry,
Wow.
Silverstone. Anyway, thank you, Silverstone, for sponsoring this episode. If I should know where I was going there. It looks like a cool power supply. I'm interested to use it. So I mean, 850 watts in there. Like, yeah. If now if we can get some cards that will actually fit, new cards that will fit in there, that'd be great. Anyway, AMD. AMD had mobile stuff. They had desktop stuff. Where do you want to start? Because I know people are excited about desktop.
First mobile stuff. AMD had a really impressive lineup. They basically have their multi-chiplet, 16-core Dragon Range CPU showed up. Those are going to be the HX parts, I believe. Gosh, they have a new numbering scheme that honestly.
Oh, did you bring the decoder ring?
Yeah, you got to have
Oh
one.
my God! I didn't know you
forgot the
there's a
decoder
I
ring.
forgot to bring the decoder ring. I still need to take a night class to
Steve has
understand
one.
the model numbers because, I think it's been telegraphed that AMD is going to reuse some older cores, some not older cores, with the newer cores, and they're going to be mixing these parts. But basically, if you're seeing a 7, the first number is 7, and you see a 4, it's going to be basically the newer thing. Like the 740 is the new Phoenix 8-core CPU. It's really more pitched at HS, kind of like NP series, kind of like that form factor.
Okay.
And then at the top end, the 7045, those are going to be the 16-core chips. And basically, they said, you know what? People want all their cores. We're going to take basically the design of a 16-core Ryzen 7950X and jam it into a laptop and give you. One thing I do again earlier, we saw the performance of a Core i9 13980HX earlier. I don't know how that's going to perform against Dragon Range. I've been asking people at AMD, it's like, come on, give me a hint. I don't know. It's going to be very interesting.
I got some photos of it, and it didn't reveal. I tried to coax it as I got some photos of it.
Definitely
It
did
didn't
not
tell me anything.
So that's going to be That's going to be the big news for people who want big, powerful gaming laptops.
Which actually we did see the Zephyrus. You have an older generation,
Right,
but the newer ROG Zephyrus G14.
It's making mine feel so old now.
With the 49.
But remember, that was like the release of Ryzen 5000 Mobile, right?
Mine was a 4.
4000 Mobile, yeah. And it was just like, oh wow, Ryzen's here in mobile. Like that was. I mean, they've come a long way in mobile. Like,
and I think that's a 7040. HS. It's not the 45. So.
Oh, okay, all right.
So that's
going
to because you're talking about a thin and light laptop.
But still, yeah.
And then of course on the mobile front, Ryzen AI.
Yeah.
That's pretty big news.
Dr. Lee Su gave a keynote. We were actually there.
Yeah.
Front
row, and they talked about AI. Gordon, what is Ryzen AI?
Well, Ryzen AI is basically the AMD bought the Xilinx. Like within a year, they do FPGAs, and basically they have taken the FPGA design from Xilinx, integrated into the guts of a Ryzen Phoenix, so the 7040. So the newest ones are going to be the ones that get it. The Dragon Range, which is based on the essentially the desktop chiplets, you will not have it, but you're basically going to get the power and FPGA inside of the new Ryzen chips. Right, I think the first use that they showed off was Ryzen AI being used for Microsoft Windows Studio effects.
Yeah.
And that's basically the visual AI stuff to make your eyes look at the camera.
That scares me. I can't look at it.
Yeah. Well, Nvidia had a demo of that too. Yeah,
Right.
that's pretty weird
But
stuff.
a lot of it's going to be used to save power. It's going to be used to do some tasks that really would chew up a lot of power on x86.
So, but this
is
isn't like a gaming thing. This isn't
No.
going to add gaming horsepower.
Well, they characterize it as, you know what? Look, we are the first first x86 vendor to integrate hardware AI acceleration. So nobody else that makes x86. That's
where is Dr. Ian Cutress?
I know
when you need him for AI.
But the thing is, they're basically saying, because we're like, everybody was like, what API? What's going to run this?
We'll see.
There's a lot. We'll see. They basically said we got to basically have the chicken to make the egg first. So they're making the egg, and then hopefully the chicken comes, and you sort of have to hope. And we don't know what the actual practical upshot of Ryzen AI will be. But AI, obviously, people have been Chat GPT and all that stuff running on a client is.
Do you think? I have no idea. Do you think this makes sense to go to desktop, or do you think this is only going to be a mobile thing?
Oh no, this is clearly the first version of it. I can see honestly, if it takes off, yeah, it's going to go into other parts. Why
think
not?
so?
If
Huh?
it
looks like
really gets supported.
Yeah, small space.
Yeah.
Big return.
Small space, but still, when you're talking about a laptop CPU, committing even a small amount of die space is a big commit.
Yeah.
And so they're really, developers are not going to use it if there's nothing to use.
Correct.
So somebody's got to cross that line first, and they say they're crossing it first.
So it's like ray tracing.
Yeah, I mean, in a way, because it
I was about
will
to say,
take.
I've heard this before.
It may take literally 2 years to 4 years for you to see the full benefits of it.
Interesting.
So,
okay.
but somebody's got to do it, right? That's how you do it in this industry.
Yeah, and there was a lot of questions in the media briefings about like FPGA and how it's what it's running and all that kind of stuff. Honestly,
FPGA is a fixed function. A lot of it's kind of like
go over. Yeah, that's why I say we need to pull the tech potato bungee cord. Unfortunately, he's not here, but yeah,
Right.
I'm just curious. Anyway, what else mobile? That laptop GPUs. We didn't really cover that.
We didn't cover it too heavily, but they basically announced a whole bunch of Radeon mobile GPUs to do their A+A laptops. Oh, you did?
The one. We did talk about it. I didn't see it till later. The 6700M?
I don't know.
It's a 1080p gaming laptop part. Component's going to, of course, do better than the last generation, 13+% better.
Right.
So it was very briefly touched on. It was.
Yeah, I mean, because it was a jam-packed announcement.
Yeah.
It had everything in there. And to be honest, the thing that people cared about did show up at least.
Yeah, it was. It was pretty interesting, the response, too.
I was really shocked. So if you don't know, they came out with 3 X3D parts. They've been anticipated for a long time. 8-core, 12-core, 16-core.
Yeah.
Ryzen 7000 series, basically with Vcache.
I feel like when Ryzen 7000 launched, we saw a lot of comments in our videos saying like, I'm going to wait for the X3D.
Yeah. So
we kind of knew they were going
yeah.
to come, right? We didn't know when exactly.
I anticipated
but,
a really strong positive reaction from the announcement.
Me too. I really thought like, hey, a lot of people are going to be jazzed. Hell yeah!
So,
fist pump in the air.
Right?
Here we go, Ryzen 7000.
And if you haven't kept up on your Internet Rage memos, so they come out with the 8-core, which is single die.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, single CCD. They come out with the 12-core, which I'm guessing is probably 2 CCDs.
No, it's 2 CCDs.
2
yeah.
CCDs for the 12-core and the 16-core, which is definitely 2 CCDs. I think everybody expected them just to simply take one CPU, put Vcache on top of it, and make 2 of them. But what they ended up doing was taking this up the top end chip, for example, the 7950X3D. The Vcache sits on one.
Yeah.
The other one is a plain CCD from a 7950X3D. So basically you have 8-core, no cache, second die.
Yeah.
Which is actually kind of funny because when we filmed that video that went for embargo and you guys were talking about it, you were like, that's weird. The boost clocks are still go up to 5.7.
Yeah.
How do they do that?
Because that wasn't
really
a thing last generation. That was a big point of contention. Like, why are the clocks so low and you can't overclock it and all this?
So now we know. That's the idea. Is that it's almost like a hybrid Vcache. So like one CCD is meant to hit high clocks. The other CCD is meant for the games that need the cache. I think the bigger thing that and we're alluding to it, a lot of people kind of were just like, what? I want Vcache on both. And, like, why are they going to do this? Windows scheduling is going to be horrible.
Right.
Gordon, what can you say to the ponies out there?
Well, I can say the official response from AMD, and they basically said, like, look, we know this from the 5800X3D. You take that chip, you blanket it with cache, you're not pushing it as hard as you can without. Right? So the clocks, honestly, a 5800X3D was slower than a plain 5800X. In some applications, not a huge amount, but
especially loading up all the cores for like a render or something.
Yeah,
like
but
that.
it simply ran at lower clocks than the 5800X. So with this chip, they basically said, look, our modeling says not everything uses all these cores with not everything can take advantage of the cache. So we're going to use one with the Vcache, one without it, because then if something needs higher boost clocks, you can push that on that other CCD that doesn't have the Vcache. So if you have a game that likes it,
you push it on one.
You?
Yeah. You mean Windows.
And yeah, Windows.
And that's what a
will
lot
do
of people
this.
are worried about.
And
Like,
they are
oh
worried
man,
about
I'm
it.
going to have to deactivate one of my CCDs if I want a game, and how
Yeah,
do
and
I pick all that?
and I know the concern.
Windows schedulers.
Because that's probably what a lot of people. I asked. That was my first question.
I mean,
like, how does this work?
no, it's a legitimate concern. I mean,
there gonna be a
like
game
Windows
mode?
scheduling, like can
Right.
be a thing. How is a game going to know, or how is Windows going to know you're running a game, and to prioritize using the cache version and not just put it on the?
Yeah, I mean, they're not showing us all the cards yet, but they're saying it should work. They have said,
They said they're working with Microsoft.
they have
closely
been working with Microsoft for a very long time on
Who
this.
was on their stage?
Panos, right? So I mean, not exactly, a nobody at Microsoft. He was up on stage with Lisa Su to talk about Ryzen AI. Mm-hmm. So definitely, again, partnerships matter in business.
Yeah.
So if a big wig like Panos is on the stage with Lisa Su, they are clearly talking.
Yeah.
But I know everybody's just afraid that, oh my God, Windows is not going to do this correctly. We're going to have scheduler issues. They seem to think like, look, we didn't just think of this last week. We've been working on this for a while. Microsoft's been working with us for a while. Don't worry yourself into a tizzy yet. I think we have to hope that they did their work, right?
Yeah, I mean-
I think it'll be okay.
We remember the outrage on the 5800X 3D before it launched because it was locked and it had lower clocks, and then when it came out, it was like, okay.
Or
So-
for the games that use it,
Yeah.
I mean, right now, like hey, you know what? It won CPU of the year last year
I
from the
just-
Full Nerd.
Yes,
and
it
and
did.
for a reason, and it was the price for performance. I mean, you
Yeah.
get a lot for it. This is different. We don't know price. We should say that.
No
yeah,
price.
I mean, I think we can probably maybe try to take a stab at it a little bit later, but
We could.
yeah, but the thing for me, the Windows scheduler thing, and I want to pimp a video that we put up over the break. Gordon did a ton of testing on the Intel hybrid CPUs because for months, or for ever since 12th gen launched, the line has been, oh, if you don't use Windows 11, you're missing performance. You're putting performance on the table. Gordon did a ton of testing with Windows 10 22H2 and Windows 11 22H2, and you found like for the line from the video you said many times was, I don't care. It doesn't matter. It's negligible, right?
Yeah,
so
they
so like they did eventually, and maybe those benefits were early on, but Windows did kind of iron it out. So
Right.
so what? I do think there could legitimately be at launch a thing where it's just like, oh no, look at all this, like this game runs on this die instead of this die. Why is it not prioritizing this kind of stuff? But hopefully over time, I mean, it could iron out, or it could just work at launch. We just don't know.
I do want to point out, in the many conversations I've had with AMD about this, it does not look, because a lot of people are going to go like, oh, do I need to do Windows 11 to take advantage of whatever magic is going to make these new X3D parts work? It doesn't look like it's going to be. You won't get that on Windows 10. It doesn't. Again, we don't know until we get there, but it doesn't look like you have to run Windows 11 to get the best.
And I
of
did
this.
ask them why didn't they come up with some sort of director that sits between the CPU and then Windows to help manage
Yeah.
the threads, but they were like, no, we don't need it.
Yeah,
It's-
and they basically said, yeah, we don't need it at all, right? So, in fact, they are throwing a little bit of shade at Intel there. We'll see. Again, you always want to be careful with the shade throwing, but they felt that they have this firmly managed. And I do want to say, because a lot of people really said, I wanted Vcache on both of those.
yeah. Well,
If it were the same amount of Vcache on both of those, what's the difference to me? But
That's
but the
a
argument
lot.
is it's a lot. But I mean, the argument is like in doing the X3D 5800 X3D, it was pretty rare that I saw an uplift in most non-gaming applications, and not every single game got an uplift. So now you're actually adding the cost of additional cache on both dies.
Yeah, and a 12
And
core,
if it doesn't
16
get you
core.
anything, and you actually do end up losing a little bit of performance, I will say, I have been told you can if you have a 7950X versus a 7950X 3D, they both hit the same boost clock. In fact, as well as for the 12 core versions, they also hit the same boost clock. But that's a single thread, right? But
Yeah.
as you start working your way through that CPU and you start loading up, and you get to the second one with the Vcache, you actually may see a slight performance decrease for the X3D part over the X.
Yeah.
Not confirmed yet, but you know, it's to be expected. It has a little bit of a lower TDP, and
Yeah.
Actually, yeah. So
That
somebody on our Discord, I can't remember who exactly was. Is like, oh man, performance of this chip is going to be the 7950X 3D specifically is going to be so much lower than the 7950X non 3D because the TDP has dropped from whatever 170 to 125 or something like that.
Wasn't the 5950 a 120?
I can't remember the
Right.
numbers,
So,
but
I
we
mean-
did ask.
180,
Yeah.
yeah, and they basically said like, you know, there basically been changes to the voltage curves on these parts, so
Was it?
it's in that because originally I was like, did you leave out the IGP? How'd you do this?
That's there.
But they said, I did ask because when I was taking photos, I was like, hey, you know, is the IGP? I was just asking some questions, you know, before we learned about it, and they were like, no, the IGP's on the I/O die.
Right.
So I mean, it wouldn't have benefited to take it out.
Yeah, and so they did leave it in there. So so basically, it sounds like there will be some circumstances where you lose. You know, we're talking single digit, very low single digit performance. We'll have to wait and see when we do our own testing. Not as big a deal, but the other thing is overclocking. Not traditional overclocking, you know, the way you would do with an X.
You know what they talked a lot about though?
What?
Undervolting.
Well, curve optimizer.
Through curve, hey, it's the same thing. It's managing voltage over the curve. So you know, like yeah. So I mean, they were like, that's something that wasn't on the 5800X 3D, and you're going to get a lot. PBO too, of course. But even they were admitting like PBO, you're probably not going to get a ton out of it.
Right.
You're better off probably trying the curve optimizer. So yeah, it's interesting. I mean, honestly, it was funny. I assumed, whatever they're going to announce, both, you know, it's all going to be Vcache, you know. And then I remember hearing they were like, oh yeah, it's only on one. And I was just like, only on one.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I like it's like a hybrid design, and I don't know. I kind of like it. I mean, obviously we got to see testing, but it's like you could have the best of both worlds if it works. You know, like that is pretty cool. I think it's cool.
I do too, because honestly, one of my fears was, even though some people overly love the 5800X 3D, unrealistically.
Oh, you mean the award-winning 5800X 3D?
The award-winning multi-award.
That chip really, in a lot of workloads, did not overpower a plain X.
Of course.
Right? So,
But for gaming, you know, it could help.
But I mean, with this, you're going to get all your cores. You're going to get, you know, pretty good single-threaded performance. That's a big deal. So I think.
Sorry, I was hitting the mic. I was hitting the mic.
Okay. So you're basically getting, the argument is best of both worlds, and I was pleasantly surprised because the approach is pretty clever. And if they just simply said, we're just going to give you double Vcache, prices go up, you don't necessarily get more performance, but you feel better. And I don't think that's really the road you want to go down.
Well, speaking of prices, we tried to dig. What do you think? So what was the launch price of the 7950X 3D? I know we're tired and we're
was it
putting on the spot.
800, 700?
Ooh, I don't remember.
It was,
but there has been deals. It has been going down.
It has definitely.
Is there a
gotten
way
really
that it just slots? It slots where the original non-X3D parts came in at, and the lower price that we saw over the holidays just stays where it's at.
Right.
What do you think?
I can see that, but how close is that lower price to those other parts?
Right.
new
Well,
parts that
but
have-
remember, so there is a 7700X and a 7800X 3D.
That
so
is
that
true.
that one's not
That one's
equivalent.
easy. That one's the
that
easy
one's a
one,
little
but the
easy.
other ones all have.
But so you're saying like you could get a 7800X 3D or a 7900X non 3D. Like what? Yeah, maybe those are so close that it's like.
Yeah,
Oh, that doesn't-
that's what I'm wondering. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, go. You put up.
I
you
just
brought
looked up
numbers.
street pricing, and right now it's available from Amazon for $570.
The 7950X non
7950X non-3D part, but honestly, I'm seeing a lot of other stores listed at that $700 price. So it looks like it's actually kind of bumped back up to where the prices has been. I would say take $700 for that top-end 16-core 7950X. This is going to be a bitter pill for people to swallow, but I'd say add $100 to it.
Really?
That's kind of
See.
where I was thinking.
Really?
Except for the
Wow.
8-core. I think the 8-core is going to come.
Oh, the 8-core and 12-core could
Well,
be.
I think the 8-core is going to be the one that people look at. They may have a problem with the that's kind of where they were core-wise. You know, we're back in the.
Right.
Did we get anything new for that pricing? But I could see it being that 450 to 500 probably 450.
Right.
I don't know, but I think they've kind of seems like they swallowed their medicine on pricing a little bit.
It seems
But-
like it.
But everything's going up. I mean, didn't you know?
Intel's been kind of creeping
Yeah.
prices back
So
up.
do they
And you-
have to?
You also have to look at the positioning here because you have basically $700 for 7950X.
Yeah.
Well, currently. They have their AMD has this new X3D part coming out. They know Intel's got a KS part coming. They've talked about it for a long time. Intel has a 6 gigahertz 13th gen chip coming out. Where's that going to price at? So it really, if you want to, don't get a little crazy about price guessing here. 'cause
Yeah.
they are, again, you have two companies that are playing chess against each
Yeah,
other. And
and-
they are trying to anticipate where the other's going to land.
And for us guessing, I almost feel like that somebody would turn the lights off and hand us a water gun and say, "Don't hit an outlet."
Yeah.
You know, you can spray this one and get close, and it's going to be pure luck.
Right. Yeah.
Hold on, we have a technical issue. For some reason, the video has frozen, but keep chatting.
Oh, we're
Okay.
still okay. So
You're
we're
still recording.
We've got audio. We've got audio.
We're still
Sorry,
recording.
yeah, I'm figuring
Okay.
this
Got
out.
audio. We're having a technical glitch here, but I think we're just guessing here, but who knows what it's going to be.
yeah. Well, since the camera's out, I'm going to change clothes real quick.
Really?
No.
Oh.
No.
Okay. So obviously, do we want to go to the next topic?
I'm sorry. I'm just.
Oh,
I'm-
look at that.
So I just want the
Now we're
audience.
just having fun.
I
Now
really
we're
need
just
the
having
audience
fun.
to know that I did not spray a water gun anywhere near an outlet and lose the video.
Oh man, this
This is great. This is fun. This is hilarious hijinks.
I still have Wi-Fi here, so.
No, it's not that.
It's the camera.
Yeah, it's the camera itself.
Live on remote is always so fun. This is where we need VTubers. Like we need our VTuber avatars in here.
Okay, should we continue?
Now though. Okay, so that's fine. Hey, so talk.
Yeah.
Okay, can you hear us?
Yeah. They,
Static pick with audio.
Yeah.
Okay, hey. So I think that's it for this parts, not knowing the prices. Wait.
the prices are hard to guess right now.
Yeah.
They had the low power parts, the lower ones, like we said. Those are going to
It's not
come
the-
in.
And so did
No, it's
Intel.
not the-
Yeah.
Intel has
It's
65 watts,
something-
AMD has 65 watt
Nobody
parts.
seemed to be very excited about either one of them.
Well, I mean, for
Yeah.
AMD it's been telegraphed because, basically we've seen the part at 65
Yeah.
watts before. So not too exciting there, but the X3D parts are here. I'm excited about it. There's definitely people that are excited about it, and there's some people that are kind of like,
I'm excited to see what it does.
yeah,
You know,
I want to see. I like, because it's going to, between that and KS that's coming out, it's going to be a good fight.
It is.
They did show off numbers that they are well ahead of 13900K in performance in gaming. How that translates when, to we get the KS part, we don't know, but AMD feels like they're pretty comfortable saying that they're going to be the game leader
Okay.
for now, so.
I mean, that's promising to hear. And then, we all
promising.
win whenever they fight that hard.
Definitely.
It's great. I like that.
So do we want to move on to the next one?
Yeah, we might as well. Adam's still breaking everything.
No video but
Hey, this is really a pure,
this is fun.
this is a pure, an actual podcast here. Oh, wonderful.
Are we down?
Thank you, thermal engineers at Canon Corporation. That would be a no. Okay, he doesn't think that? We don't know.
Oh,
Okay.
so keep
So
talking.
I
keep
want to
talking.
talk about the other thing that came up, which is, of course, the cooling of the XTX part. Mm-hmm. Because that was actually some real news here at CES.
It was,
That broke during CES.
and you got the meeting.
Well, but I want to point out that who was the original person that sort of spotted that there were some oddities with this? Was it? Oh God, I'm so burned.
Schilling?
At this. It was Andreas Schilling.
Yes.
And of course,
We're back. We're
who
back.
else?
Ah,
We did a lot of other testing. Roman did a lot of testing.
yeah, DeBauer.
DeBauer
Roman,
did a lot of
yes,
testing.
yes, yes.
So there we have the 7900 XTX that came out. It had some of them had these like hot points. Some of them were throttling a little bit.
Yeah.
We had them in normal orientation, but when you flip them vertical, they would go away. And this actually all broke during the holiday, and people did
Yeah.
freak out, of course. And
And most of
Pause real quick.
We're pausing?
The audio.
Drunk.
Yeah, audio should be good now.
We've already
Audio
established
should
there's
be
no
good.
alcohol. No
We
alcohol.
had to shift our.
Oh man, yeah. Woo! Live. We're doing it
That
live.
is so
this
weird.
is this is the fun.
Okay, we are back finally, but
Hold on, let's wait for a second and just make sure everyone. It sounds okay now.
you
Good,
don't
fixed.
know
There
the
we go.
power
Okay, it's
of
fixed.
The dark side.
Jeez.
Did it sound good?
I guess I don't know.
I told
Oh,
you
boy.
that booming
All right.
voice. It's so powerful.
Okay. Well, sorry. What were we talking about?
We were talking about the
7900
7900
yeah,
XTX.
when it broke.
Basically, turned out that they were some of the cards.
It
were
broke like
heating-
our feed.
broke like our feed. For some reason, talk about it. They tried to disconnect us. It turns out, they issued a statement, but also we had a video with Scott Hergelman. Go watch that on YouTube. Basically saying, the issue is because a lot of people said, "Oh my God, it's every single one. Must be a design flaw."
Yeah, and I'm sure a lot of people rushed to get theirs, started flooding the lines.
Right, and it turns out, according to Scott, that it is, some cards. They're basically saying it's not a design flaw. There's definitely some cards that do this. If you have this problem, please contact AMD. We will get you a replacement unit if it has a bad
Yeah, so they would
vapor
take care
chamber.
of
Because
it.
the theory I think that Der Bauer came up with is that the vapor chamber basically didn't have enough liquid in it.
Well,
So somebody,
and there's
a manufacturing defect.
Yeah,
essentially,
and there was the
from
whole
some.
instance, people got mad, but it happened, when it happened, admittedly, even we were all kind of out of pocket.
Yeah, because
So
it happened right during
the
Christmas
the
and New
major
Year's.
holidays, and maybe when somebody reached out to the customer service that was filling in, I don't know. It's just it's a tough time to get a lot of things going, and they said they actually on their end were working on it.
Right.
Yeah,
and I think it's something to be pointed out because, the thing is, when I saw that pushed out to my phone, I felt really bad because a lot of people just basically ruined their holiday. Because people came in to figure out because it's like, it did look scary, right?
It did.
And
YouTube made it
and they
real
had
scary.
to come in, they had to look at it. And it turned out it wasn't a design flaw, but probably manufacturing issues that crops up anytime, you do have defects that come up, right? There's no such thing as zero defect rate. So.
Yeah, well, and I did, there was talk about it in our Discord. People were like, I wonder how many, are they going to release that? Somebody pinged me and said, hey, listen, does AMD have a serial number range that if you look at your serial number, that it's easy to kind of identify? I actually did reach out to AMD PR late last night when I got that. And they were like, no, there's no serial number range, but if you're seeing 110 degree on Celsius on that junction, then it's a problem. They're like, you're either seeing it or not. It's not, it's going to be very obvious.
Yeah.
And then reach out to them at that point. So they're not releasing a serial number range. It's just if you see it, reach out. If you don't.
Yeah, and let me point out, because somebody said, well, why don't you just weigh the cards because there's not enough liquid in the vapor chamber.
Wait, you mean weigh it on a scale?
Well,
not everybody has the
you would need
scale,
an incredibly accurate scale. And
but I mean, we're talking about
yeah, you're talking about a microscopic amount of liquid here, so that is a problem. I remember doing this with Josh way back in the 1990s where he cut open a heat pipe and hey, there's no liquid in here. Because there is so little liquid in there that works.
Oh yeah,
it's not going to pour out.
Kind of like the 4090 or kind of like the 4090s, right? People kept checking is it melted? Is it melted? Is it melted?
Yeah.
You're it just open up your 7900 XTX.
See if it's in
take
there.
off the back,
Cut it open.
slice into the vapor chamber and see if there's any water. If there's not, then it probably evaporated.
Yeah,
it's unfortunate.
But again, I think I kind of feel like okay, it's probably defects manufacturing that cropped up in a few of them. We don't know the number, but with any story, you shouldn't. I think you should be patient. You don't want to freak out immediately, but it was concerning, just like 12-volt high power was. But you wait and see. Let's just everybody take a wait and see attitude. If AMD is saying this is a very small amount, basically contact us for RMA, and then you start seeing hands raised all over the internet saying, "Oh no, here," then that's different. But until you get there, there's no point in even wasting time in speculation like that. And you sort of have to take, and it's right, you should take them at face value because
for now,
yeah.
I mean, who knows? There has been a lot of people in the comments being like, "Oh, you should look on Reddit." There's a ton of people that having this problem too. And
How many of the cables?
Right, it's just like
How
12
many-
volt high power, which seemed like, oh my god.
It seemed like
people lost it.
if you looked at YouTube, every other one was burning your house down.
Right.
How many have we had since the big statements have come out?
Yeah,
and the
which is
record-
weird, right? Then it just kind of it just shows you to go like, if you do the freak out and I think we just learned this lesson like literally a month ago, where like, take it easy, catch your breath,
Goldfish.
don't just ignore it. It's real. We want to find out, but it was not worth it. In the end, all the drama ended up being a complete waste of time. And again, sort
not
of
a complete waste of time.
Well-
I think through that process, at least, we learned like, hey, like you need to be careful, make sure it's fully seated. Like, no, I mean, I think there
don't-
was good
yes.
stuff coming from
no,
it.
because
like,
it was real. There were many factors here, but a lot of people just simply thought the adapters were all bad, or
Yeah,
it was a
yeah.
design flaw with 12 volt high power.
Yeah.
Which honestly, you could argue it's not the best connector for people, but that doesn't mean it doesn't work. But
yeah.
it just doesn't work if you don't insert it all the way. so.
I'm sorry. Friend of the show, Scott Anderson says the outrage pony will not be put aside. Somebody must ride it. I like that. That's
No, it
that's
will
like
rides
on the phone. I
again.
should put that quote on the back of the shirt.
The outrage
yeah.
pony must ride.
Yeah, the outrage pony must
The,
ride.
the
I
only
like it.
reason
I
I'm
like it.
pointing out is like it's great that we find a problem and it gets fixed, and then because obviously the 12 volt high power thing has kind of calmed down. It
No,
doesn't.
it's, I
think people are just looking. They're also, but it's probably people just aren't looking at it as much, and like
It's
making
possible.
new videos and articles about
Yeah.
other stuff. So like
We got on a new
So
pony.
I don't want to like fully dismiss that there isn't still happening.
Do we have a bunch of super chats we got?
We got one super chat earlier about a monitor question. It was $20 from friend of the show Mike Quinton. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll get to it in a little bit. We got a super sticker. The number one fan, Chuck Mather, $10. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And then friend of the show, VC Jester, just gave us $5. Thank you so much. And said, find out who makes the cooler so we can steer our outrage ponies in that direction. So thank you. I think at the end of the day, hopefully the amount of cards that have this issue have already been made.
Yes.
Right? And it's like, okay, identify if you were part of that, get it fixed, get it replaced, whatever needs to happen. AMD, I felt like they were being pretty sincere, like, hey, we will take care of it. Let us know, we will take care of it, kind of thing. That's just me, but so hopefully in the future it's like, okay, they maybe learned something from this, or maybe their vendor that they were working with, like
That's a tough conversation.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
right, you
You're
know what I
gonna
mean? So, yeah,
talk to your vendors like, what's
yeah.
up?
Yeah, right. Like, I mean, I hopefully something good will come of this. Of like, hey, like check through the Q&A on this stuff, or I don't know how you check a vapor chamber if that stuff liquid. Open it up.
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
But yeah. It's interesting. And we got a $10 super chat, or 10 Canadian dollars from a friend of the show, Warren. We know Warren. We met him at Intel. The pony must ride. Yes, the pony must ride. Anyway, yeah.
Okay.
So 7900 XTX. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I didn't
Yeah.
buy one. I bought a 7900 XT
Oh,
over the break, actually. So,
I didn't buy one. Is that going to cause problems?
yeah, we're supposed to all raise hands here. No. Anything else from Nvidia then, or should we kind of go to
AMD?
AMD, huh? Or should we go
No,
to?
I think we that's all the sort of like top line component stuff
Yeah,
that's worthy of talking about.
Well, let's get kind of the fun, crazy stuff. The rest of CES. So
Yes.
I want to kick it off.
Kick it off.
A lot of
Oh,
people
wait,
have been asking
what's
like,
your- what
yeah, a
was
lot of
your-
people are like, oh, what's the coolest thing you saw, or what's the craziest thing you saw? I want to give a shout out to a new fidget item I got over at the. We stopped by the Height / iBuyPower booth, and they had these new fittings for tubing. Sorry, I can't remember the model number or name or anything like that. But we realized as we were messing with them that it has a very satisfying click. It is a really good fidget item.
Or a fitting if you want.
No, that's one thing I've never done is tubing at all. Like
Yeah.
I'm still very scared of that. So I don't know if I ever will. Maybe one day. One day I'll
You
try
would
it.
pick something that people can't buy.
No, I think you can buy these.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you can buy these.
Okay.
Once again, sorry, I don't remember the model number, but Height. Just search Height tubing fittings. I don't know, but oh man, this is a very satisfying
Okay.
fidget item.
That
I'll
was
stop
your-
it because I'm sure.
that was your favorite?
No, I just want to give a shout out because it's funny.
Okay.
Honestly, my favorite. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff. I mean, we always see some crazy stuff. We have actually an interview that we're recording tomorrow with a company that has an interesting cooling technology
Right.
for like
Airjet.
Yeah, Airjet. Yeah, is the name of the product. And the idea is that these thin and light laptops can only have so much cooling. You can a fan at such small. Sizes can only do so much that they have a technology that actually uses way more static pressure to get the air out.
Okay.
Is it static pressure? No, back pressure.
Back
Pressure to get more air out.
that's clever.
And they had demos, and it was really cool. It was like one of those things where I feel like every CES, we take a thing and we're like, is this going to be interesting? And then we're like, oh my God, how are more people not talking about this? This is crazy
it's pretty
cool.
neat.
So look for that interview. We'll run it next week. I think. In terms of like industry changing, that could be like one of those just cool things.
Right.
But
Definitely.
In terms of products itself, man, I don't know. I mean, we've seen a lot of stuff. I mean, obviously there's a lot of laptops.
Am I the
You've
only
seen a
one
lot
that got
of cases.
excited?
I'm going to bring up the Cooler
maybe I'm
Master
too tired.
case. That Cooler Master case. that
Which one?
sh-
The shark?
Come on.
Oh,
you just-
no. Actually, you know what? I did like the kinetic case. I know not many people watch that
from
video,
Copper
but
Power?
yeah, the
Okay.
like it was cool. Like seeing it in person, it was a little loud. I think that's something that kind of you'd have to really want it.
Yeah.
But like the idea of having it has these like fins on the front that kind of open and close to let more air in or less air in. I don't know. I thought it was cool. It was super unique. So, yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I would take the shark case, though. I mean, the shark case is.
You got $3,000?
Was it left?
Willis has a picture of it. I saw it last night.
Was it left or
at
right
the-
shark?
At the party, and it is really neat. I thought
It
it was
is.
more of a mod because I'm.
It was.
Attention. Oh.
It was. There's a story behind that. It's
What's
a
the story?
It's a short story. Ha ha ha.
No.
So it was a mod. The shoe was a mod too. The sneaker or the Gundam boot. I like Willis's.
I don't get the
interpretation.
Gundam boot thing.
No,
the
but
shark was-
well, you're not a shoey. Isn't that what they call the people that buy a bunch of shoes?
Shoey.
Anyway, so the story is they held a big modding competition because Cooler Master's really big into that, and those were the two winners.
Oh yes, I think Paul did a video on the
Those
shoe.
those
one,
were the
right?
winners. But what they had at their booth was an actual production model. So they're going to make it. They're going to mass produce it. When I asked them, I
Okay.
was like, "Oh, you're going to do a limited run?" And they said, "No, we're going to make them."
How much, Keith? How much?
The first number I heard was 14,000. But that was if they were to tool it the way the modder did it and make it. But there's a target, and I don't know
The
how.
purge. Sorry.
That's a silent alarm.
I
They're
have the alarm overriding silence. So sorry.
I overheard them talking around the 3K for like a build in
Okay.
it. It's an
Oh, with the
mini,
build in
yeah,
it.
with the build in it, mini ITX. It's really cool.
See, now that's
it's
a small
really cool.
form factor I can dig.
That's not a small form factor.
Yeah, it takes mini ITX.
Yeah, it takes it all right. that's like
form
that's
factor.
like calling a Tesla a small form factor computer
But it
because it's
takes
in the
mini
good.
ITX.
But it was neat. It was. I agree. Uniqueness. I wouldn't put it in my house because my kid would break it. It was pretty, cats.
I mean,
cats would.
I didn't see it in person, so yeah, maybe I'm not understanding the grandioseness.
Willis,
of
you
it.
got an opinion on it? The
But,
shark case?
yeah,
no
no.
opinion.
No?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I-
It looked cool. It looked cool.
I did see a lot of cases, so I've
You see a lot
I've
of
got some
cases.
opinions on some
Yeah.
cases.
Well, actually, and something we've been talking about this whole time, and somebody just asked a question. I'm sorry who did it, but any ARC updates?
ARC.
Yeah.
I actually,
ARC GPU,
as far as like at CES,
yeah. Did we see it in any systems?
Okay,
did we
so-
see any
so I
did
saw-
Intel talk about anything?
Okay.
All that.
yeah. So I saw one reference ARC card in a system
We
at,
did?
at one location, but I went today and spoke with ASRock, right? And they had their gaming the Phantom Gaming
Mm-hmm.
ARC card there, and I finally got to look at that in person.
That's the one with the fan on the one side, and then
No, it's
isn't
triple fan design.
is it?
It's a very
Oh.
modest card,
Oh.
but it's very nice. It's
okay.
colorful. They had that. I asked them how things were going with it, as far as like sales and how it was moving, and they actually seemed pretty happy with it.
Oh.
They didn't really have anything negative to say. I was like, well, are you getting returns and stuff? And they were like, no, it's just a normal. It's kind of been a normal launch for them.
Interesting.
They said they've moved a lot of A380s though. That kind of surprised me. But they said a lot of people aren't buying those for gaming. You know, we always think gaming, right? But you and I were talking
Yeah.
about earlier about outside of gaming
That's
purposes.
the cheapest way to get AV1.
Yeah, and he said
That
there
is
was
the
a lot of
cheapest way.
people that were buying it for that. But do you know which of
Interesting.
the 7 series they're moving?
Oh, you already told me so, Gordon. What do you
Oh,
think?
I didn't tell Gordon.
Well, let's see. Internet cheaper prices. It's not. It's definitely not going to be the 770 with the larger frame buffer.
It's a 750.
Yeah.
So,
of course.
yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
it makes sense because it plays
That's
right
cool.
to that. And honest, that audience has not been serviced by much.
No,
so.
and they want something new.
Well, and honestly, I was wondering if we would see pre-builds. I was wondering like oh, how many people are going to have ARCs in the
Yeah.
system? Yeah, I mean it was not a ton, but it's there, and I guess
Yeah. It was
steadily
neat to
chugging
see
along.
it like somewhere, because that was the only, like, I know they make it,
Right.
but there was another place that makes them and they didn't have any.
Something near and dear to your heart, PCIe 5 or Gen 5 drives.
Yeah.
Gen 5 drives, SSDs.
I saw a lot of Gen 5 drives from many vendors.
So when are they coming out? How much?
I don't know. And I will say, I was just in fact told by someone that there's a demo you can actually see here. So you can go up and see.
Here?
No, not here.
Oh.
I think Micron has one.
Okay.
So it's worth. I'm gonna go try to check that out.
You were
with
very
a little time
excited about you're very excited about Gen 5 drive. I'm actually excited.
I'm
about
actually
Gen 5.
excited for it, but I'm a little afraid of how hot they're gonna get because
We've seen some
We've seen some
coolers.
heat sinks.
Kind of crazy.
Well, that is funny. You pointed out it's like, oh, the whole idea of going to M.2 is that it's just a stick of gum size, but now Gen 5 drives also require a heatsink.
Right.
Reminded me of the Pentium 2.
Yeah, but I just kind of, if we had gone to a design that anticipated that,
Yeah.
power and thermals, but no, because everybody just wants their M.2. We're going to be having M.2 drives that are
Nope, done.
giant.
Oh, great.
So
What about somebody was asking about USB 4? We've seen a lot of USB 4 devices. USB
seen
4
one.
on AMD laptops.
I think I've seen, what is the? It's still up to the laptop vendors to implement. I don't think I've looked too hard for them. I don't think they're not quite baked enough to say whether they have them or not. I've seen one actual native USB 4 enclosure. It was ADATA?
ADATA. Yeah. I haven't
ADATA.
run it. We have a short. We did a
Yeah,
little short.
it's actually a USB 4 external drive with a Gen 4 drive in it. And just to give you an idea, the cool thing is it has an active fan in it to keep it cool because these SSDs are free. But it is actually a native USB 4 cabinet using an AS media controller.
Okay.
So that's probably the only one I've seen. I haven't looked too hard at the ground for the others, but most of it's in the bare M.2s that I've seen. But
Yeah.
it feels like 5 different companies have it. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're not done. We haven't. I mean, we actually have one more day.
Yeah.
So we don't ship off till Sunday. So we got one more day.
yeah,
to,
no, we got
to look at
another day
stuff.
to find stuff.
Actually, you know what? To tell you the truth, like we haven't been to a full trade show in what 3 years, and
Yeah.
I thought I'd be doing worse than I am. To tell you the truth,
Same
so I mean,
here.
I'm tired, but I also don't feel like I'm more tired and more, beat up than any other time I've been to a trade show. So. Gordon, you feel like you're.
Gordon's been partying
I've
the
been
whole
really
time.
good.
you
Yeah,
know
I
what?
was out
Yeah,
till
he went partying
1:30
when
and
Willis and Keith and I were up late editing. He's going out and drinking his Coors
Somebody
Light.
had to.
Somebody's
Somebody
got a
had
party.
to.
Somebody's got a
Bud
party.
Light.
I had one of
He
those
drinks
last
the Bud
night.
Light.
Oh, cool. Coors Light. He's a Coors.
Coors Light?
Yeah.
I'm Bud Light. He's
I
Coors
had a
Light.
Bud Light last night.
Hadouken OXE.
Hey,
any
you upgraded.
Ugh.
Hadouken OXE? Any new AIOs? Did we see anything? What about a thermal take? They had interesting.
Which one did they
Didn't
have?
they have
They
that?
did bigger. They went bigger.
Yeah.
So 420s.
They also had a competitor to the Lian Li Unifans, where it's magnets.
Yeah, the
and
magnetic
passes
one
the-
and-
yeah. So it's just like you stack a magnet.
That was I
no
like
wires.
that. That was clever.
Yeah, no, that's a cool design. I always like that.
It was nice. You couldn't mess it up.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I'm trying to think. Anything else? I mean, there's so much cool stuff at the MSI.
There is a
booth.
lot.
I tell
There's
you
a
what.
lot of hardware.
I saw a bunch
Yeah.
of cool stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like we did see cool
Yeah.
stuff.
I saw I find it funny. The thing that got me the most excited was that InWin case that we did the video on.
Yes, yes.
Because like,
the
and I've gone
mod free.
Yeah, the mod free, and like I've gone and I've seen. The problem is it kind of ruined me when I saw other ones because I've seen a big shift this time. Like a big trend with cases is going with flat pack. Can you imagine why they'd want to flat pack a case these days?
I wonder why.
What is a flat pack?
Flat pack, IKEA style.
Like it comes,
Oh.
Yeah,
it
you
comes in
buy
a
the case.
smaller box and
Yeah.
you build it.
Yeah, and you put it together.
Why do you think they want to do that, Gordon?
Yeah.
Because you don't have a container where you're shipping just empty air. I mean, you can fit a tremendous amount of cases that are broken down like IKEA products.
Yeah, but they've made them in a way that's kind of fun. Like InWin's got one where you bend
There's
the
no
tabs
such
and
thing
stuff.
as fun
Hold on.
in
You
and
haven't
I
se-
will.
you have not
I mean,
you have not seen
in
the video
IKEA.
then. He has not seen the video. I had a blast building that case. I even did it in
It's
the
actually
video.
a really good video. It's a
Yeah,
really
you
good
know,
video.
I had
Go
a lot of
watch
fun
it.
with that. But they did have some that were like, You got Cooler Master's got a flat pack one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Elena's excited about that one. We got to see it today.
Oh yeah, Elena's in the chat. She says, "I want it."
Yeah, you know, she can have that one. I was like, I had some opinions about it.
Or
And
maybe she's talking about mod free.
the mod free one's so fun. You look, here's the thing about mod free is like if you want to be like me and you like just a decent size like mid tower, you can do that. If you want a full tower, you can do that. If you want a 2-chamber full tower, you can do that. It's fun.
It's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
When you first told me about it, I was like,
Yeah,
no. And then
he
I
did.
reviewed the video and I was like, oh, you know what? Actually, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So
I mean, as long as it's sturdy, I think that's the other thing, right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, if you're doing modular
let's see. There was that
case
case.
pieces.
Fantex had a case that was really exciting. Showed you guys a picture of it just a bit ago.
Did you? Did you show me?
Yeah.
I don't think you did.
It's quite pretty.
I like
Quite
Fantex
pretty.
cases.
I'll see if I
But
can
you
pull
were
it
trying
up.
not to.
Oh yes, here it is. There's a picture of it
Oh,
there.
that's Fantex.
Show
Oh,
the camera.
okay. Yeah.
And let's see if it, I don't know if
It's
you can
not
see
gonna
it on
focus,
there.
yeah.
No.
Close to you,
Yeah.
close to you.
Close to me? Close to
Yeah.
me?
It's
Quite pretty.
Anyway,
It almost kind of looks like a height Y60
Yeah,
or a
but
Y40 competitor.
it's
so it's got
really,
like
really
glass
tall.
on the corner.
Yeah, so the glass meets in the corner. It's really tall. The motherboard is recessed into the motherboard tray so that it like sinks into the case.
Okay.
All this glass, RGB, like it's super loaded. And they've been playing a game this week that's been driving me crazy. Everywhere I go is, how much would you pay for this? I'm like, I ain't paying for it.
Oh, I know. I hate
You know, and it's like they're trying to gauge what people would think.
of
so,
course.
but I had a number and I look over, I'm like,
$199.
I was like $350, you know, because like it's a big, luxurious, thick,
Okay.
heavy case.
I heard you mumble 350.
I
Was it
said three. I thought I was like 350 because like they want money for this thing, and they're like it's 220, and I was like, okay. I was surprised by
Not
that.
bad. Not bad.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a premium case. This isn't a budget tier kind of
Right,
thing.
right.
Like
That's not bad.
I could almost stand on it and it
Okay.
just stay together. So.
We got a question from Zavid. You guys tried the new 3D screen from Asus.
Yeah, it's impressive. It just doesn't show on video well, but
So we
Yeah.
didn't shoot a video of it, but you also saw another 3D
Acer
screen.
has one too,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
theirs is a little different, and they're doing it all in house.
I will say I was at another convention actually in Las Vegas, and I saw a $30,000 3D screen implementation.
Oh,
And believe me, the ones that are being used in the PC laptops kick the hell out of this thing.
Really?
It was like, wow.
Yeah, they were like, hey, this is like for production professionals. It's like just the
Yeah.
screen,
What's
but
to say is it? I can't. It's Dynetics,
I
or
don't
something. But
remember.
I'm sorry, but it was very impressive technology. Very, very impressive. And they're basically bending the light
Yeah.
that comes out of the screen into like a lenticular screen.
Yeah.
But when you're looking at the 3D content on there, that's rendered, not the like pre-rendered
yeah.
movies. It's like
Whoa.
wow.
we got a question from friend of the show, Ruru2. Did you guys sit in the Cooler Master Orb? I know someone who
Willis
did.
did. Willis said in the Cooler Master Orb, so he's the only person that can give us an opinion
Yes,
about
please. Cooler Master Orb.
What is the orb?
it. That picture where I tried to get him to expense
Yes,
it.
Oh.
yes.
Yes. Yeah.
He sat in the Cooler Master. What did you think?
I mean, it's pretty cool. It's like you're in a capsule. It's if again referencing Gundam, you're like in a Gundam cockpit, like your pilot. You know?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's just they have like 2 speakers on the top,
There it is.
a reading light. And stuff like that. It's very very neat. You can show that. You can show that.
I can show that.
That's funny.
I don't know if it'll.
Yeah,
like
just
that.
see me just
and
chilling.
for audio
right there on the
listeners,
side.
it's basically Willis sitting in an isolation egg with RGB around the ends of it, and a PC.
It's a cooler coupe.
It's an egg. It's an
Single
egg with
seat.
screens inside. Oh yeah, it's a coupe.
It's
There
a
we
coupe.
go.
It's a single
coupe.
seat.
Yeah, you sit in the back.
But yeah, I think they said that this was very really for niche audience. I think they estimated the price for $50,000.
Oh yeah.
off
I'm
of
sure.
this.
Oh, I'm sure.
So
Okay.
Adam, you're gonna give me the money for this, right?
yes, I will approve.
We can put it in
and
the
we'll
office.
See. Hey, you know
We'll
what?
put it in the office.
You know what I always say? It never hurts to ask. It never hurts to ask. So back to the screen thing. Somebody was saying, is it like the 3DS? Yes.
Similar.
Yes, similar, but way
Oh
better.
no, but
Yeah,
actually
wait,
good.
yeah,
Way
yeah, I
better.
would say
no,
again.
I actually like my 3DS, but I
Oh,
mean this
come
is
on.
way more high resolution. And the other
Yeah.
difference is that the 3DS. Two things. The 3DS, you could change the depth of the scene, but there was no bringing it forward or backward. The Asus one, at least that
Yeah.
we saw,
Yeah.
you could actually bring it forward. So there's the screen. You can either recess it into the screen or you can bring it out of
Yeah.
the screen.
Okay,
And then-
that wasn't on the Acer.
Oh, okay, yeah, that was
Yeah.
pretty cool. And then the other thing was the crap. How to make it better? Is that usually that technology is just layers? It's not actually 3D. It's just like layers of a scene that you're kind of pulling apart, like flat almost. This is true 3D
Yes.
models.
Yeah.
Like it definitely looks.
There's depth to it.
Depth. Yeah. It's so yes, much better than a 3DS, but similar. Glasses free. So yeah. Don Draper says, "What if you have a lazy eye?" Well, yeah, because it's
I
eye
don't know how
tracking.
that- Yeah, the eye tracking.
Yeah.
Is-
So
although
I
maybe
actually don't know.
It might actually work if it's
maybe
tracking.
you can calibrate it. Maybe you can actually calibrate to compensate for it. So it is possible.
Well,
I don't know. if it's-
they were Asus was saying that they think, and you were saying this too. You think that there's going to be a resurgence of 3D because
Yeah.
of this. What do you think?
Well, the feeling is that it's such a nice leap forward that we're gonna
The tech has finally caught up to the idea.
that we're a few years again, because it's always just like VR. It comes out, everybody overhypes it, it falls flat, and then it starts.
Well, I mean,
to build
3D
up steam
television
again.
has
Same
been
thing,
through
3D television.
like a couple cycles of like, oh yeah, 3D is the next big thing, and it's like, nah, 3D sucks.
Yeah,
I would say
so
the
I
glasses
think it
were the
might.
break.
The,
Doing
the
it without
glasses were the
glasses.
pain. Yeah.
Well, so the thing is, I've seen 3D demos for many, many years, and I've never been impressed like this. It's really impressive.
Well, but also, man, it's a chicken and egg thing, right? Because it's awesome, and I mean, Asus was like, yeah, we got to get this technology out so people can start building stuff in it. But it's like, how long would it actually be until like we see like a game have it or something like
Right.
that you're
So-
actually going to use it?
Let me tell you what Acer's doing with their their version of it. They're actually going into games and making it work. We played a game on it.
Right.
Oh, was it a
3D games.
like a game you knew?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kona and the Valley. I messed the name
Oh,
up.
okay.
But it's I mean, we didn't sit there and play for long, but it was like in motion,
Right.
seeing it work, and it wasn't perfect. I'm not gonna say it was perfect, but like it definitely worked, and it was very effective.
I think the only problem is that when somebody has to do this work to make new hardware.
Yeah,
It's really cool. There's a lot of initiative behind it for 6 months, and then
that's the concern, isn't it?
The venture capital money dries up.
yeah. I mean, honestly, I can see so the professional workflow makes a lot more sense as a product initially. So
Yeah.
as
And
a
that was-
consumer-based product, it makes it definitely a
Yeah, they did keep pulling back to like 3D modeling,
Yeah.
being
Yeah.
like kind of the core.
that makes the most sense, honestly, at this point. But still, it is really pretty stunning. Especially again, I saw it's like $30,000, glasses 3D, and I was like, man, this looks like trash.
Yeah. Well, So speaking of screens, what you got something, Willis?
Also from Cooler Master, while we're talking about gaming chairs, there was also Cooler Master and D-Box partnered with Motion One, the movie or the cinema and gaming chair. They demoed it to us. Basically, it's if you guys know D-Box.
Yep,
It's
yep.
basically
Rumbles your chair.
Rumbles your chair. They were playing your favorite film,
Maverick.
Gordon. Top Gun Maverick.
Oh.
Wanted to get you there to do it behind the scenes.
I'm not gonna say it's my favorite film. I'm just saying I expected it to suck, and I was pleasantly surprised that I really enjoyed it. So
I like it. The feedback was great. I almost felt like I needed a seatbelt. Like I was like, whoa, this
Like,
is good.
hold on,
Yeah.
this thing's pushing me out of my chair.
Yeah, but that was one cool thing I saw.
Oh, that's
as well.
pretty funny.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of screens, you've been on a hunt for monitors.
Yeah, you know.
Tell us about your monitor journey.
So 240 hertz OLED panels. I was really looking for those because that's kind of the new hotness. And I found a couple, Acer and Asus. It's funny, it seems to be this kind of thing where these two companies have like very similar technologies, but they both had one, and Willie's got to look at one, and like just that being able to almost walk around it and see everything really clearly. I thought coming into this that's what I was going to be, my next big thing, and now I'm not 100% sure, but I also,
interesting, really. Okay.
yeah, when we were at one of them, we were talking to a rep about, the question of burn-in always comes up with OLED,
yeah.
and I see around the internet, and OLED enthusiasts tell me, don't worry about it, it's not a thing, it's nothing to worry about, but the people that make it told me a little different,
Can you share what they said?
So the crux of what they said was, if you were gaming 80% or better, I like the percentages. I'm a percentage guy. It always helps me get in mind. If like 80% or more is what you're doing gaming on your computer, then it's probably the best option for you. Motion clarity on OLED is absolutely fantastic. But for the same price, they have the 360 hertz IPS where the motion clarity is closest, but it's going to be your long-term solution. If you're doing less than, if you're doing 60% gaming or less, then it might be where you want to be, because the burn-in is there. It does happen.
Because when you're not gaming, there's a lot more static stuff
Exactly.
potentially on the screen, like a
Exactly.
Windows taskbar.
Yeah, and even let's say I do a lot of video editing, and I'll leave.
Oh, you do? Who do you work for?
Little outlet, PC World.
Oh yeah, no, they're junk.
But I leave, I use DaVinci Resolve, and a lot of times I'll just leave it up on the screen while I go take care of something and come back to it.
Yeah.
And those UI elements. Now, admittedly, he did say it was a 2 to 3 year kind of problem. So
Yeah. But it's also different than a TV.
It
I
is.
feel like a TV, even in the worst case scenario, you're playing many hours of the same game and the HUD elements never change, but you're still hopefully maybe turning your TV off at night, or there's just there's a lot more stuff happens on the TV that's not static.
And they said they were going to try and find ways to help through mitigate that for users so that it's not their biggest concern, but it's there.
Okay.
I was really expecting to hear, nah, you're good, don't worry about it.
But the actual vendors
the
are
actual
telling you,
vendor told me, hey, it might be a concern for you, and I didn't expect that, because I was standing there like, yeah, they tell me this, and he was like, yeah, it's a concern. I was like, oh, way to burst my bubble.
So you need to play more gaming, is what it sounds like.
Can I?
Yeah, then it works for you. You just have to increase your game time. You get to 80%,
There
yeah.
you go.
I can
then you're
justify
good.
my OLED now.
You can, sorry, I gotta play more
the
games.
price on them though, surprised me. They were either one, Acer or Asus, 1,100.
Oh. Okay, that's still a lot, though.
It's a lot of money. I didn't say
I mean,
it's
come
cheap.
on, but high-end monitors are
240 hertz, 27
They're
inch,
nice, though. They're
1080
nice
or 1440p OLED, 1,100.
We have a question. Man, I'm really bad at managing chat right now on this side of the screen. Somebody's asking non-PC related stuff that we saw.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here we go. Some place for videos. What non-PC related products have you seen that are interesting? Anything that wasn't PC related? I mean, honestly, we don't really go to the show floor.
Yeah, I know.
we're usually
We
in
haven't
meeting
even been
rooms.
there yet, so.
Yeah, like usually vendors like MSI have a nice booth. We come here, we see specifics, and then we go to another meeting room for another specific thing.
I did see a solid state power station, because I've been doing power station coverage for us now in the interim, and they had a solid state one, which is kind of interesting. And because the problem is that lithium, no matter what, lithium batteries have there's a liquid inside, right? So there's basically.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
All right. Yeah. It even had a GAN charger. I wish I had the name of the company here.
That sounds pretty cool. Oh, you know what? I was in the same room as Paula Abdul.
Oh
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
That's while we were working though.
Yeah, you were working. Gordon and I were at an event called a PepCom. It's like
Yeah.
it's like a big room where a bunch of smaller companies can rent like a
Yeah,
table.
yeah.
You know, they can't get a full presence
Yeah.
at CES, but they kind of come and
It's like a convention within a convention.
yeah, it's like a mini convention with it. Yeah, and so like I mean, there's always like some interesting stuff that you can dig in there. But Paul Abdul was there repping some sort of like smart sunglasses. I don't know.
See, Yoshino, solid
Yoshino.
state technology.
If you're
power
interested
station.
in Power Station, hit
With
up
a
Gordon
GAN
on
charger.
Twitter and check out Yoshino.
I'm trying to think. Did I see anything? I think the only thing that I've seen that's not PC related was actually because Cooler Master's trying to push into the lifestyle thing. They had some headphones to compete with Bose and Sony.
Okay.
And we saw a lot of it's PC, but keycaps. We
Keyboard-
saw
and
keyboards and
keyboards.
keycaps. Like it's
Oh,
like
yeah,
definitely
those are
been
good.
pushed
Yeah.
really
But that's
hard
all
this year.
PC related.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was
so-
that HyperX. Those keycaps are crazy.
You like those? Those
Yeah,
are cute.
I'm trying to
love
think
them.
what else. Like, yeah, I mean, we just, you know, what, to ask us again tomorrow because we're gonna actually
still
go
going,
to
we're
the
still
show
going.
floor, you know, and see some more general.
And yeah, somebody points out, yes, the ultrasound machine that was demoed during the keynote.
You saw that.
Because it's a phone-based ultrasound machine.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be cool to have?
Did you actually go check it out?
No, I forgot to. I'm gonna have to do that before
Well,
I go.
AMD's literally next door, so
Right,
maybe you
okay.
can go bug them.
Go ultrasound my head. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Ring car cam. I didn't even know that got released. Yeah, actually, if you want to know more like smart home stuff, our sister site Tech Hive, the guy who runs that, Mike Brown, he's here. He's covering a bunch of stuff. We have a couple freelancers, so a lot of smartphone home stuff. I'm sure. I don't know. We just haven't seen much yet.
No. We'll keep an eye out for
Yeah,
stuff.
we'll keep an eye out. We should probably wrap up pretty soon because they're about to shut down the lights on us. But
You know, I have a question though,
Yeah,
Adam.
please. Yes.
I've been watching you monitoring the chat.
yeah, the chat's here.
What laptop are you
Oh.
using there? I love that Game Boy look.
That-
Is that the new MSI
I love every time you say.
Cyborg 15?
All right, sorry. This is the MSI Cyborg 15. Check it out. It's really cool. I'm actually monitoring. Look, I'm watching us live on the screen.
It's
right
got the Game Boy plastic on there.
So
It's got a retro
real
look.
quick, we've seen this. We've seen. So what he's referring to is that it has translucent plastic.
Yes.
Which is all the rage and was definitely in the 90s. I love the look, but every time Gordon sees it, he says, it's the Game Boy
It's the-
look.
I don't. That's the only way I know how to talk about things.
So, yeah, translucent plastic was used in much more than the Game Boy.
Okay.
I had an N64 that was translucent.
You know,
Ah.
the nice thing about that for gamers that have been angry about high prices,
Yes?
very low price. That new
Very low price.
Cyborg 15 is $999.
Oh, no
I've
way.
learned
Hey.
it's
No way.
$999 now.
What
Also-
graphics card is in it?
So you're getting a 12th gen, currently a 12th gen Intel mobile part, but RTX 4050 for $999.
So yes.
And if you put out another $100, I would do it. You get the for RTX 4060.
Yeah, I'd spend that.
I probably would.
But we did ask when we talked about the announcements starting at that price point, how many were there going to be? There's at least that one.
Yeah. No, I mean it's
You
$1,000.
You've blown Elena's by saying that you like a Game Boy, which I think is funny. Also, I want to point out on the bottom of this fine laptop, and I lost the charger. What does it say?
MSI.
True
MSI True
Oh,
Gaming.
there's a G there. Okay.
Yeah.
Just
So
saw-
it's you get the translucent plastic on the bottom, and it's got venting. It's just an interesting little touch on the bottom.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean honestly, for for $1,000 gaming laptop, it's a good indicator of what you're going to see this year.
But
from-
really,
from Windows.
I actually do like translucent plastic.
I do actually.
So I have on the back of my Steam Deck a D brand, one of those invisible skins. You know what I mean? Kind of like you put it on so you can see the insides, right? They're one of the companies that makes a lot of popular Steam Deck accessories. Released a translucent back. And I bought it. I was like, yes, I
Okay.
bought that. Thank
I need
you
a
very
link.
much. I mean, yeah. JSOM,
Oh, those guys.
Yeah. I was just like, yep, click, boom, done.
Vault.
So yeah, I like translucent product. I like the Game Boy thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anything else we want to cover?
No.
You know what? I do want to say
wanna
we've been.
go get some
I want
drink.
to point out a couple tech-related things. We've been shooting a behind-the-scenes video on the Sony ZV-1. It's not a perfect camera, but you know, it's actually been pretty fun to record some behind-the-scenes stuff. I'm recording right now.
Oh, cool.
live while we're doing
Wow.
it.
It's got
Yeah,
everything
yeah.
we've come to expect of many years of Sony camera interfaces.
Yeah, Sony. So yeah, and then we haven't been to a trade show in a while. We didn't have the time because CES literally started like right after the break. But remember 2020, we sat down and did like the gear that we bring to CES.
Yeah.
I kind of wish we had the time to do that again because like we brought all new gear, like and definitely different. Like Willis and I fought back and forth of like what should we bring? Like what kind of fun stuff.
Man, it's so hard to convince Adam. Like, cause I like to be minimal in a way, because I've used to do a lot of wedding stuff, so I anticipate something like this. It's kind of like run and gun. So I was like, okay, let's bring good gear, but also bring. Let's see what we can bring. If we bring way too much, then we have to run around with it. So
Right,
but Adam had some good points. I tried to bring points in, but we made it work. So that was great.
Yeah, so we're shooting on new cameras that usually we haven't deployed in past.
You know what would be fun?
What's up?
When you get back,
Uh-huh.
do a what we brought and what we shouldn't have.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, actually, no. I feel like we actually
we
packed
did-
pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We had good.
Or
enough,
share the
actually.
things that you kind of went back and forth over. That would be fun.
Oh well, honestly, the thing that I was scared the most about is that we switched over our wireless packs to Sennheiser. What is it? The AVX system. I can't. Yeah, the AVX systems, which we use as Wi-Fi direct rather than radio. We've always relied on the radio systems, but we bought these during the pandemic. I was like, oh, it'd be cool. And then when we were at Intel, I was getting cutouts in one of the interviews that we did, and I was just like, oh no, how is this going to handle under like intense,
Yeah.
like disturbance on a big show floor? So I was very scared about that. Even so, that like we brought
all had backups.
Yeah, we brought backups just in case. But I mean, so far I actually did have some cutouts on one of them, but I actually think it's just a problem with one of them. I haven't had problems with the other ones.
Yeah, and we were about to bring a 6x6 light panel, but I was like,
For the
that's
full
gonna-
nerd,
for the
yeah.
full nerd. But I think these like small light panels. This one died out. I changed it to a new one, but I think it works just fine, and we got some
Yeah,
decent
there's
lighting.
aperture. I can't remember
Aperture,
the model
yeah.
number. I can't remember. So
Yeah. But
little
it-
aperture light. It's got magnets on it.
Yeah.
You can stick it on Mac.
Yeah.
I'm not going to put on any of these computer electronics, but yeah. So
It all worked out though.
cool stuff. LaSalle Rhymes III, friend of the show, gave us $10 super chat. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Been loving your coverage of CES, guys. Great work. Thank you so much. We've been putting a lot of work into it, and honestly, and we knew this was going to happen. We are backed up on edits. That's our pipeline problem right now. So we actually do have a lot of videos that have not gone up on the channel. So there's more to come, and then also we've been shooting a lot of like interview videos, and I like to hold those off till next week when it's kind of a lull. So we've been talking to some YouTubers. Somebody was asking earlier, like, did we get to hang out with Steve and Paul and stuff? Steve's actually not here. I did get to talk with Paul Heimlich and talking with Paul Alcorn, and so there's a lot of the usual suspects and cool people here. But
Yeah.
so we've done some videos,
And it's been great just actually, again, hanging out with people. Like I went
Yep.
last night to the Crewmaster party, and it was like a reunion. Somebody noted that, and it was like, and it really feels like, I think I've said this before, it's like the Avengers blip. Like you're suddenly seeing people you haven't seen in 3 years. Like,
Really,
except
it
that
is.
everybody is like, gray hair, and just things have changed.
Gordon, to your left, and then everyone just shows up.
But you just like, it feels like, 3 years is like nothing.
Yeah.
Like you click your fingers and we're back.
And for my first CES, I got a lot of swag, and I'm excited. I'm excited about that.
There you go. Willis with the swag.
With the swags.
Ricardo Alleguera, are we streaming tomorrow? Nope. This is the only stream from the show. We actually do have something set up for next week, or maybe the week after. I don't know.
Okay.
So hopefully we'll be back to our regularly scheduled program. So there's more to come. And actually, you know what? This is the first time we've kind of leaned into shorts. Keith
Yeah.
has been instrumental on trying out some shorts. I really want to put it out there, like I've gone back and forth a lot about shorts and how it works on our channel. Like I feel like I pride ourselves on like long form discussions and like deeper analysis and things like that. And short form videos isn't
Far
really
from that.
is the exact opposite from that. So it's like how does that really work on our channel? I want to do it. I want to mess around with it. We've been experimenting. So let us know what you think works. What
Love
doesn't.
to, I'd love to hear that feedback.
I will say this right now, shorts are never going to be the main focus of this channel. It's more like, hey, we want to add extra kind of stuff that wouldn't make sense to do a long big piece on, but we still kind of want to do a short little,
Yeah.
coverage on, I don't
No,
know.
I've hit that a lot.
Very experimental.
Yeah.
Please give us harsh feedback on, like what you think works, what you think doesn't.
60 seconds is quite a challenge.
It is.
Other platform is 90 seconds, but yeah, 60 seconds is
60
like,
seconds.
Wow.
I'm trying. I've come across some places where it's like there's this thing, it's really cool, but I can't. There's not 3 minutes worth of conversation to be had, and that's where I'm like, hey, I want people to see it and experience it, but I don't really.
Yeah, well, and yes, I do. A lot of people are saying this in the chat, and I completely agree with you. I like long videos. If you couldn't tell, we have a lot of long videos on PC World. And, I love making long videos.
Yeah.
That is never going away, for sure.
Right.
Just like, hey, the short thing, I want to try it out. It's obviously there. YouTube is pushing it real heavy. So, I'm curious. I mean, I don't know. I mean, as a video professional, I have my own things about shooting vertical format videos.
It's
but
awkward.
Whatever, I mean, it's the future. Maybe I'm getting old. I'm getting too old.
Yeah.
I
Next
don't
thing you know, you can be getting a sedan.
Yeah.
What's wrong with the sedan?
No, I'm just saying if you're young.
someone
you-
who goes
you-
toward coupes
you
and then
could-
suddenly want a sedan is this guy.
Jesus.
Pointing him.
Have you ridden in a Lincoln Continental?
No, I'm saying, have you ever ridden in the back seat of a coupe? No, we're not going to do it.
Also, Lindsay Murray, hi Lindsay, is
Hi,
asking
Lindsay.
why isn't Adam wearing a red shirt? And I was like, why is she asking me that? And I was like, oh wait,
Because
red.
I just realized that. This is
You,
more.
you
of
got
an orange,
burgundy.
actually.
You got
Burgundy.
burgundy.
It's
actually
So
orange.
yeah, what the
It's
hell?
actually
I guess
It's
I'm-
the lighting. This is actually purple.
I was sort of matching MSI color a bit.
there
yeah.
you go. Yeah, MSI Dragon. Dragon's coming for y'all.
Yeah.
It's coming out for us all now. We should probably wrap up
Yes.
because I'm tired
Same.
and I'm thirsty.
All right, we are going to go relax, take our shoes off.
We're not gonna relax. We got work to do.
No, because now actually we're actually going to go shoot a video. We're going to get out of here. Thanks for coming. I'm Gordon Ung with Adam Patrick Murray.
Hey, thank you everybody. More videos coming. Watch. Subscribe,
May.
smash buttons.
Thank you,
Oh,
everyone.
you're still going? Sorry.
Whatever.
And I do want to mention thank you to MSI for letting us camp out in your
Yes.
booth. It's
Yes,
been
thank you
great.
to MSI.
'cause, this wouldn't have happened if MSI was not letting
Definitely.
us do this.
Don't
And thank you to Silverstone for
Oh, yes,
sponsoring
and Silverstone.
this episode and some of the videos from the show.
We thank Willis.
And Willis Lai is going to hit the off switch.
Thank you guys. Have a good day.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Goop. Goop. That's what I want to be doing.
Everybody freeze. It's like the lot.